Ha! I made you guys wait an extra minute. Ha! All right, everybody. How in the heck is it going? We had a little error on the last video, but it's not major league error. It was just the sister of Dayanaro who was dating Christian, and they had a child. So it's right here. All right. Okay. Great. Either way, they're all connected. The only person. So here, let's just go over this really quick. I made a flow chart for you guys. So Iris, I guess it's Muñarez, I guess, is the girl. Hold on a second. Let me turn this audio down. Maybe not that low. I need some ambient sound there. Okay, so Iris is dating Christian, and they have that child that we were looking at. It was funny because I told one of my other friends, oh yeah, I think it's the aunt, and they convinced me out of it. But anyways, we came back to reality, got the correct information before I had her being the girlfriend, but she's actually the sister of his girlfriend. All right, so Iris is Facebook friends, the girlfriend of the killer is Facebook friends with Scott, Mollie, and Jake. That's crazy, all right? Then we have Dayanara Muñarez here. She's Facebook friends with Mollie and Jake. Christian here isn't friends with any of them. I mean, any of Mollie's siblings or Mollie. But she is friends with Iris here, but apparently Iris has two accounts. She has a brand new one. And guess what day the brand new one started? Take a guess, everybody. What day did the new account by Iris Muñarez start? No. The 18th of July, the day that Mollie went missing. That's crazy, right? So that's the date that the new Facebook page started. And I mean, that could just be coincidental. It's just a little bit weird, right? Christian Rivera here, he isn't friends with her on her old account, as Daro was telling me, but is on her new one. But here's what I think is possible, too. He unfriended himself, took his name off of Iris's original account, but went onto the new one that's private, right? But you can still see the main page. But what if he also took his name off of the three siblings? You know, maybe he was Facebook friends with them too, but after he did what he did, the murders, he realized, oh, I got to hide myself from their family, so he took his name off of them. So what might be interesting is to go through and try to find anywhere where he might have liked something or commented or anything like that on either any of the three. I would say, like, check Jake and Mollie's first, then maybe Scott. Scott seems less associated, although not much. I mean, it's like 3 and 2. This is the only guy. It seems odd that somehow the boyfriend of this girl who's friends with all three isn't friends with them at all. So don't you think that it's possible that he took his name off of their friends list, unfriended them, and now he's not on there? That's just something I just thought of right there as I was logging in. It is insane. I agree with that. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Well, actually, Rachel Del Tondo's crazier, all right? But you've got this random guy. Yeah, listen, to be honest, I can't say this is the craziest thing I've ever seen, because as soon as you look at the Rachel Del Tondo case, it makes all this stuff look like just simple work, you know? So anyways, he's got the... this guy killed Mollie, and he's the only one that doesn't show up on any of these people's pages except hers on only the new page. Right, that's what I said, Darian. She is her sister. We thought it was her before and didn't even know about Iris. So it doesn't really change things much. It just means that there is a connection to Christian to Mollie Tibbetts. Now, why they are best, a lot of people friend anybody, but they live in the same town. So that's what I'm trying to say. Is you live in the same town, of course you're going to you'd probably be friends with them in real life, right? There's only 1,400 people there. Everybody knew everybody. I think that these two have met before, and I think when he came out, she's probably always thought he was a little bit creepy, and then he sees her coming after her on that road. Must have been terrible. That's what I think. Yeah, but that's a... Do you think he only unfriended Mollie's page yesterday, Sandra? That would be ludicrous. Really. It really would be. I mean, I think it's insane that people sit around and actually keep track of stuff like that. I'm sure I lose 5 friends a day, all right? Well, what do you mean, Gray? I don't agree. I'm not your friend anymore. Bye-bye. A lot of the stuff I'm finding out because, different people contact me, like Daro, and just I get like 1,000 messages a day, different people. It's all stuff that you could look up, like, let's see, like Christian over there, right? The thing is today I didn't really have a lot of time to go look through it, but what I do is once I hear about something, then I go look at it myself, make the connections, and then I try to make a chart sometimes if it's complicated, and then you start putting it together, and then I think through it, and then I say what I'm seeing. Yeah. A tip about what, Jack? This case or some other one? I know, it's weird, isn't it, Jim? See, it's strange for me because the Mollie Tibbetts case I never felt like she was not going to be... Well, I didn't have a gut feeling, if you know what I'm saying. At all. The only thing I had was logic, right? The longer someone's missing, the more likely they're not alive. Yeah. Let's see. Tell you what, I'll try that myself. I'll go to one of my websites and see if I can find it. So it might be quiet. Just listen to the music for a little bit. Alright, so his name is Christian. Oh, Manares. Okay, Iris. Let's look that up. Iris Manares. That's probably your mom. Yeah, I didn't get one in Iowa. So I'll go check out the email, I guess. See what happens. Oh, by the way, thank you, Amy Rickardson. I think it's Rickardson for a donation on PayPal. Let's see. I also got a new Patreon supporter, Carol Dion, or Dylan. I don't want to turn it into a French-sounding name if it's not really. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't get an email from you. Did you send it to a different address there, Jack? Yeah, quit typing, everybody, so I can... God dang it, Jesus. All right. Yeah, I looked on People Search for that name. I don't see it. Ah, I guess let me see something. M-O-N-A. Huh, that's so weird. It didn't even find any Muñarez. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's see. That doesn't seem like a very common name either, does it? Oh, wow. No wonder he saw her jogging a lot. Good one there. Thank you, Jack. I think that if that's the same, if that's a relation, I bet it is though. Hold on. Let me look at the. So it doesn't have any family members or anything. That's too bad. I'm just looking at a document over here. And it seems like the right age where he'd be the father of one of these, you know, maybe of both the daughters, actually, you know. So here we go. So Juan J. Muñarez, age 48, and they're like, what, 22, 20-ish, something like that? Well, there you go. And look where this is. This is where Mollie went running, right like this. And right at the end of that straightaway, hell, you could probably almost sit there. I wonder if this is, I think it's got a street view on it. Let's see. So supposedly it's an apartment, though. Let's see. So it's probably this house right there. Let me see. Wait, that says 715. No, that's not it. That's 715. I don't know. I don't even see anything there. It looks like a tent. I mean, what? Wouldn't that have been a trip if that was the car right there? Oh my God. That would have been nuts. 1 in a million odds, but... Check my phone? What do you mean, check my phone? What do you mean? Ah, come on. Let me just go through a show. I don't need 16,000 tips, alright? Yeah, I know it's 801. I know it's 801. I know it. I already said that 100 times. This isn't 801 right there, though. You see that? Maybe that'll help. if I took off the 1 in the front. Yeah, I didn't see that part on there. Hold on a second. Man, it's just like, can't just one person say it, though, you know? I gotta... So let's see. Wow, that's even closer. It's like you're sitting on a deck watching it. I wonder how this even had an address right here. Like, why did it put the red pin thing right there? Like, what? That's not even that doesn't even exist, but it said, oh, let's put it there. All right. It would be cool if it said, hey, it didn't exist, and I would notice that I put in that wrong. I wonder how I must have put in like an L or something. How did it even have another digit in there? I thought I copied this right here. So let's see what was going on right there. I think I already looked at this house, actually. Well, we know that's not the surveillance they use then. Yeah, you guys all comment, but everybody's typing it in at the same time. It's like, God. Maybe I do need to go get my phone. Hold on a second. After a short intermission. Yeah. Yep. Well, thanks for helping me out with the... I thought I had the 1801. I thought you guys were like, hey, you know what? Because I couldn't even see it up at the top of the screen. I guess you guys were looking at the address that I typed in on the... pasted into here, I would imagine. I'm not sure how you could see that. No, see, look at inside there. Look at that. Right in there, it has 801 Boundary Street, Apartment 1. And that's what I copied and then pasted up there. So I'm not sure how that other digit got put up there. But hell, who cares? We got it fixed now. God, if that's related to those two girls, I mean, it almost seems like it has to be, right? I've never even seen that last name before. Have you guys? Man, I guess the deal is now the chat goes by so fast and so many people type. See, there's so many more people watching now. There used to be... We'd have 50 in here, and it was kind of easy to follow along. Now it says, you know. If I ask a question like, wait, what's Mollie's brother's name? Oh, my God, Blake. Oh, I said Blake. It's Jake. See? There I go. Oh, God. Yeah, it's hard to... Yeah, but people don't like the slow mode. Because then you can't talk and, you know, you say what you want to say. Sometimes you're in a conversation with somebody and then you have to wait 3 minutes and then it's way up there. Well, that certainly adds a new wrinkle there. It certainly would show why, perhaps when Christian was over visiting Iris's house, perhaps having a beer out on the old porch in the evening there. If there is one. Let's see. Is there even what's the front of this house? Look at this. What a weird looking house. You'd think there would be a front like over here, but Even here, almost doesn't look like a front. Look at that. How do you get into the damn thing? Is it right? Oh, right there? That's the front door right there, huh? Jesus. That's a strange house right there. That's the front door, I guess. We're right around that corner. So, you know, if you're just chilling out right here, and she runs by every night, just going around this corner right here. And then earlier, I don't know what you guys think, but I think this could very well be a security camera right there. Because if it was a light, it seems like it's pointing out really far, like that way. You would think it would kind of point down, but a surveillance camera would point out, and you'd get, it's a wide angle lens, so you'd pick up a lot of motion. And that's exactly where they said they captured Mollie running and a dark car. And you could actually probably have seen her. She looked pretty small, I would imagine, on that camera, but you could probably tell it was her. Then this car maybe drove by and back. But man, that's the house right there. Right there. Of the perhaps relative of Dayanara, or Dayanara, I'm not sure how to say that name, and Iris Manjarez, all right? So they're sisters, and perhaps they're also daughters of whoever lives in that house. And they are both friends with Mollie's siblings. Iris is friends with 3 of them on Facebook, and Dayanara is friends with 2 of them, just not Scott. And Christian here isn't friends with any of them, other than, you know, these 2 right here. His girlfriend and his girlfriend's sister right here. Yeah. I didn't check to see if no room for Blake Jack on. Why would we put Blake on there? It would be more like, you mean Dalton, right? Did we check to see if Dalton... I didn't even check to see if Dalton was friends with any of these people. That'd be pretty weird, huh? Let's see. Is that him right there? Let's see. Yeah, this is him. Alright. Let's see if okay, not her. How about Iris, perhaps? No. And no. So no, he isn't Facebook friends with any of them. That's probably not the angle. Yeah, but why look at Blake? That's the brother of Dalton. You can do that yourself. I don't think Blake has anything to do with anything. Okay, well, these Blake, you know, that's just another connection. Like, oh, Blake's friends with Iris, right? But I was just looking at Dalton because he's really close. You know, he was dating Mollie. Blake probably barely knows Mollie. You know, just sort of like friends because of Dalton. God, it's too hard. You know, like I just keep getting messages. Check this link. Check this link. Ah, boy. Family of dairy farm where Christian Rivera worked speaks out. 24-year-old Christian Rivera is behind bars Tuesday night because of accused murdering 20-year-old Mollie Tibbetts. Accused of murdering 20-year-old Mollie Tibbetts, now his former employer is speaking out. The farm where Rivera used to work is a dairy farm called, let's see, Yerby Farms. So here we go. Make sure that one isn't in the front again. It'll say one letter B Farms. Huh. Well, that's where he worked, apparently, but that's not where Mollie was found. Alright, there we go. Put that in there and save this stuff. I've worked on stuff for hours one time, and if Facebook crashes, Google Earth crashes, you lose all the little pins that you put in. And it does crash every once in a while. Who are you talking to, Mia Young? Like everybody just quit typing and listen? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I never really get any breaks. The thing is, I'd like to actually... I can do all this research on my own, I know how to do it. I just don't even have time anymore. It's like I end up having to, I gotta go live. And then the whole time I'm trying to just set it up so I can go through it. And I actually like trying to figure things out, Like a lot of the stuff I do on my own, but then people give me a hint here or there, and then I go that direction, this direction, that direction. And it gets, it's, I don't know. Sometimes it's not as fun, to be honest with you. I gotta, just telling you the truth. I like to sit around and think about it and work through the problem, but when it's just everybody sending you something, it gets pretty old. No, I appreciate people helping, but it's not the, it's not what I like to do. I don't want to be Bill O'Reilly where I'm sitting on a set and people are feeding him information. Or, for you CNN lovers, Anderson Cooper, they don't really get to do anything. It's just, hey, here you go. Here's one for you. Here's one for you. Here's one for you. Did you see this? Did you see that? Did you see this? Did you see that? And then it gets kind of, I haven't even had time to sort of go through and, I guess you call it, hey, thank you. That was, Randy Keene. Super chat. But I guess today's just been a stressful day for me. There was some craziness going on in the Libby Nabby case. Some idiot putting out some pictures. Then there was, this case, all these different things all day. Just a little bit rough. All right, so the farm where Rivera used to work is a dairy farm called Yerby Farms. It's owned by the Lang family. Craig Lang is a former Republican candidate for Secretary of Agriculture. A statement was sent to Local 5 Tuesday night. Now, let me turn down this music a little bit. Thank you, Gray. First and foremost, our thoughts and prayers are with the family and friends of Mollie Tibbetts. This is a profoundly sad day for our community. All of us, Yerby Farms, so I guess there's more than one, are shocked to hear that one of our employees was involved and charged in the case. This individual worked at our farms for 4 years was vetted through the government E-Verify system. So even though he's an illegal alien, he was, verified as being he had documents of some kind, and was an employee in good standing. On Monday, the authorities visited our farm and talked to our employees. We have cooperated fully with their investigation. Yarby Farms followed all laws related to verifying employees are legal. Well, maybe, I guess right. I forgot about that. E-Verify means that you are trying to figure out if they are legal or not. So I'm not sure why the police would be saying that he's illegal. It might be that he had fake documents that made him appear legal to the farm, right? Thanks, Audra. I appreciate that. All right. Is there more of these farms? Let me just type in Yarby Farms. So yeah, that was the only one around that area. So again, if you didn't see this earlier, she was found, I believe, right here where this pin is, off of 460 and 220th, or actually Highway 21, but it becomes 220th Street, I guess, at the same time. I hate when they do this. Oh, well, it's Highway 21 also, and it's 220th. The news media were all parked right here, taking shots down this road. And then earlier in the day, we saw footage of the coroner driving, and he went too far. He kind of... we thought last night that perhaps right in this area, or maybe it was even earlier in the morning. Now I can't remember. Everything's bleeding together. But hey, thanks, Kelly Gray. Great last name, by the way. Great last name. One of the best last names in the history of... So it just kept driving down the street like that. So then I realized, well, it's not where I was thinking it was. So then I started looking down here based on an image that somebody gave me with corn stalks in the background and so forth. And then I think it was Vic sent me an FAA flight, no-fly zone. And then Darrow sent me one that had a better map on it. So I loaded it into Google Earth as an overlay, and here it is. I mean, it was amazing how it fit. I can do what I did earlier, but so look at the lines on it. So this is completely opaque. You can't see through it. So notice that little river right there. Now watch when I change it to see-through. It lines up absolutely perfectly. And it was amazing because it almost worked right after I put it in. It was so close, and I just had to change the scale a little bit till it all matched. And then what I did was I chose the very center of the circle and put the yellow pin there because I figure that's how the FAA would do it. They would say, what are the GPS coordinates? Okay, great. Okay, let's do a 2.5 mile radius radius in a circle around that spot. So you zoom in on that, and we're still on, it's amazing, we're still on 460, this road right here. So I'm going to turn this off now. Now that you see how I placed that. Okay, turn that off. And now we're right here. You're right on 460 right there. And these appear to be cornfields. This is actually set to September 2011. And apparently she was found in some cornfields. Now, I can't find the exact location yet. I might spend some time, if I can find some time, if you know what I'm talking about, to actually look for that spot. But there's no street view here, unfortunately. See, up here when I grab onto the little street character, there's no blue in there. So you can't do it. kind of sad. So I think this is pretty close. I'm going to say that somewhere in this area is where they found her. I don't know exactly. Could be, you know, like on one of these side roads right here. Something like in here. Yeah, probably not though, because there was some like electrical wires behind and a fence. So just don't know. I think it might be someone maybe at this area right here filmed. So I guess he didn't really work at one of these farms right here though, did he? Hey Jim, thanks. Come on, look at all the same people keep donating to me all the time. I mean, I really appreciate it, but I feel like they're kind of carrying a burden. Like it's, I mean, I know they want to because they like my show, but sometimes it makes me feel guilty. But thank you very much, Jim. Right. Maybe I should do it where I can say, okay, ready for links. I'll tell you, it's hard though when you're trying to talk and then people keep saying, look at this link, look at this link, look at this link. Check this one out, check this one out. And it gets really difficult. You get it? Go ahead, make my day. Thank you. Appreciate it. Make my day. Wow, thank you. Thanks a lot, Brienne. Is it Brienne? I won't try to say the last name though. I bet you the S is silent though, right? Like Tusha or something. Yeah. Taking a guess. No, I don't mind if you give me links, just not like if I'm trying to speak about something, just wait a minute. I can always get back to it. Although it was good that you guys helped me out with the one, even though I didn't know what the hell you were talking about, because on my screen it looked like 801, but there was that little 1 off to the side there. Or an L. It might have even been an L. I don't know. So you guys saved me, man. You saved me. I could have developed an entire theory for hours based on nothing. Yes, take a break, Daro. Just, hang out. Maybe you can call in. We can talk about the case, all right? So I'm going to open up for phone calls here in a minute. So be ready to call and talk about your theories. Yeah, Daro's the hardest working person I've ever seen that doesn't really... like she's always donating to me. Isn't that crazy? But hopefully someday, maybe someday we'll get big enough where I could actually hire somebody like a Daro. You see what I'm saying? Or heck, we could get a whole crew, an entire company. I think we're like the only people that are doing this, though. Actual true crime, where you put it on the screen and allow people to see and sort of interact with the actual environment that the crime is taking place in. Right? It's almost like a news show that I don't even know what you'd call it, to be honest with you. I don't like to just keep doing like different news events. Like, like Steve Luckner, he does like any story that exists, I watch him sometimes too, like someone pops a pimple in New York and he's on top of that, you know what I'm saying? But, oh my God, a 2.1 magnitude earthquake in southern Haiti. Oh my God. But yeah, he's good. I like watching him. But he's totally different than me. I basically only do true crime. So that's it. That's what interests me. Luckner. Never heard of Luckner. Yeah, the pimple poppers in New York. No, I didn't ever work for the police. If you guys are interested, I'll tell you how I started doing this. So I got a animation and media arts degree, so I can make animations about anything, really. And I remember during the Jodi Arias case, it would frustrate me so much listening to people. And so I thought, I can actually show them what I'm seeing. And not just with animations, but I can make videos and so forth. So I used to make them. And I spent months and months and months making a complete realistic 3D model of the bedroom and bathroom where Travis Alexander was murdered. I mean, now it even has actual images of the tiles that have blood on them on the floor where they are actually located. I haven't worked on it in a while, but that's where I was at the end there. Yeah. Maybe I should rethink that. Like, if you guys are throwing out links and stuff, and we're all helping at the same time. I guess the only thing is that sometimes I feel like I don't get to do what I'm good at, But that's all right, I guess. I mean, I can take what you give me and synthesize it into what I think is most plausible. All right? Yeah, start sending those links. Yeah, so I try to make animations, and I can take video and show people reality. So what the deal is people that aren't really they haven't used video, they're, until recently, and all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, and they take a video, they download something off the internet that somebody else has already processed, then they process it again, and then they act like they can see things in there. And it's like, no, you're looking at garbage at this point. And see, that's where I come in. Now I'm trying to read other comments in here. Start wet of Lou. Oh man, a lot of strange comments coming on in here. Right. So anyways, that's kind of how I got going. I don't really have a background, but I just really think about it. And I have actually done work for, a prosecutor in New York actually saw, hello, hey, thanks, Iron Cowgirl, the maybe we call the spouse of Asphalt Cowboy, the virtual spouse. Okay. Yeah, so a prosecutor saw one of my Jodi Arias videos in New York, and he wanted me to do a video for their trial. It was like a negligence charge on an elevator incident where a lady's leg got ripped off, basically, just hanging on by skin at the top of the elevator. And so I made an animation for them, and it worked. The jury was like, oh man, that animation, that explained it. I mean, I can show it to you guys if you want to see it. I actually have it on YouTube here. It's pretty crazy, actually. And it was kind of neat how I did it, because they only had 2 frames a second, right? There's only 2 frames a second on the elevator animation. On the surveillance camera in the lobby. So it was really jerky. So what I did was I took that and then I replaced them with 3D people, and then they actually did the motion. Let's see. Elevator accident. Yeah, there it is. See, this is the real surveillance, but watch how choppy it is. Watch. See? Like, it just skips a lot of time, so you can't see it. And when she went up the elevator, you couldn't make it out. But she explained to me what happened to her. So I filled in the gap. So watch. Now watch. Here's this lady. So I just filled it in, made a 3D scene. And look, this guy came off, and then she steps on, and look, the elevator starts going up. And then right there, guillotine, that leg. And so this is what it looks like from inside the elevator. And then she comes walking on. Feet are kind of sliding around a little bit, but then her leg gets right in that little. And then she got drugged 8 floors up. It's crazy. And then when the paramedics found her, they actually asked her, "Are you alive?" And what they did was, at the very top, the in between floors acted as a what do you call that? Tourniquet. You know, the in between the elevator and the wall. It's probably, I don't know, 3/4 like that little space right there. You see, we called it the gap. And then to get her out, they had to lift up the elevator, and she lost her, all of her blood went out of her, and she was in a coma for a month. But miraculously, this happened in a hospital. And her name is Deborah Jordan, so you can look up that case. And we won, man. The jury said, oh, yeah, the animation. That let us know exactly what happened. So there you go. And they flew me over there. I got to walk around in Brooklyn. Then they used me for another case. I don't think it ever went to trial, but I made an animation. Some roof. They were putting asphalt on the roof, and he backed up and fell off the roof. But there was no, like, safety net. So there you go. Yeah, see, there's a lot of people that think, oh, Gray, you just did the Kanika Jenkins stuff. No, I've been doing it for a while now. Yeah. And so, and then in the, let's see, Jonathan Cruz case, I made an entire, here, let me show you guys that one. You guys might think this is pretty cool. Here, watch this one. This case is still going to a civil trial first. Let me see if I can find it. It's actually like a 360 degree. Let me just type in 360. Maybe that'll do it. Maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can actually make. I made a whole 360 degree video of inside of an apartment, and you can look around, and it's almost like you're right there. After we do this, we'll take the phone calls regarding Mollie Tibbetts, but I'm just trying to show you this stuff. I got paid okay for the elevator one, but I don't get paid to do any Kanika stuff. Okay, I know that's what you're trying to get at. The Kanika Jenkins case is a joke, all right? Her death isn't, but the people saying that she was murdered are idiots, okay? So if that hurts your feelings, unsubscribe to the channel immediately, because I don't care. All right. I could have another purge night. If you believe Kanika Jenkins was murdered, then unsubscribe immediately. Immediately. Thank you. All right. I'm going to try to find that 360. There it is, right there. Okay, so this is the Jonathan Cruz case. This is a 360 degree video right here. I was looking at a wall right there, but look. See how I can look around however I want? So this is a YouTube, and every once in a while I have it skip forward a little bit. Right? So look, I'm looking around in the room. This is exactly what it looked like. And I put that red rod there because that's the trajectory of the gunshot. Right? So in a minute, it goes a little bit closer to him. So now, look, so you can look around. I put all these everything looks exactly the way it was. There was food sitting there, bottles, this kind of stuff. He had a little, yeah, he was in martial arts. He had a black belt. And that's where they said the gun was found, and a trajectory like this. And supposedly she was sitting on the edge of the bed right here. And got up, and he said, "Oh, cover your ears." And went and killed himself. Bull crap. Yeah, no way. She was standing right there and shot him. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. All right. So there you go. That's that. And let's see, is there any more on here? I think that was it. All right, so should we do the call-in now? Is everybody ready? You're entitled to your opinion, Gray? Oh, come on, Jim. Oh, you saw that one way up? One way up? Yeah, I made a full Jodi Arias one. It's pretty spooky, that one. Yeah, actually, my 3D on that one, you see him in the shower. I actually made a video game. It wasn't really a game, though. It was like, but you can move around on your own in that bathroom. It's pretty trippy. I don't know where I have that now, but it was pretty weird. God darn it, I didn't purge any, man. Let's see. So I wish some people would go back and watch some of my Jodi Arias ones. All right, so here's a 360 degree. It's not, actually I can make it clear though, hold on. I think. Now this is as clear as I made it because it took too long to render. But look, I actually had him moving around in the shower. That was pretty weird, you know. But this is what it looked like. If you were moving around in that bedroom, this is exactly what it would be like. And I put like friends of mine and stuff up on these pictures at the time. Yeah. Okay, see, now you get a better feel. See that? These are actual tiles located with the actual blood spatter that was on it. So this is right where he got his head almost cut off right here. That's his head print on the ground there. And now we're getting further down the hall. Yeah, the music makes it seem a little bit more creepy. See, then look. That's how they found him, right like that, in the shower. His friends found him. This camera I have placed in the air there is where it was when it filmed the ceiling up there. See, there he is in the shower. You know, he tried to get out, going around like... I think he crawled on his knees over here like this and stood up here to look at himself. He was just totally dazed. And then Jodi came running back down the hall like this and then started stabbing him, and he tried to get out, and then he almost made it out. But, you know, it's crazy though, huh? Anyways, you guys have probably already seen all that anyways, right? Yeah, thanks. That was actually just a scene that I rendered in 360 degrees. And it's the same thing they actually did at the Rosemont. I mean, at the hotel. They went in the kitchen and took 360 degree videos up in that area. So I knew how to put it together to put onto YouTube. And of course, at that point, you must work for Rosemont. Yes, everybody, like the video. Thank you. Woohoo! Wow, look at that. 3 more subscribers. I guess they like my opinion on the Kanika Jenkins case. Let's see. I'm gonna open up Skype. All right, you guys ready? And can we get let's get some new callers this time. All right, just anybody who wants to talk about the Mollie Tibbetts case, or really just anything, but I'd imagine you'd want to be talking about the Mollie Tibbetts case. Maybe we can look at some, if you have any ideas of what you think might be going on here. All right, so Skype's open, and now I am going to put the screen on that has the phone number. And here we go. Oh, here we go. Maybe I should do something where I don't speak until the phone rings. Yeah. Did Karen Bennett just send me $10 and it shows up like that? Or are you saying, yeah, you sent me money earlier. I think I said your name. I think you did anyways. All right, here we go. Hello, this is Gray. You're on the air. Thanks, Karen.
Hi.
Hey, somebody donated on Super Chat, so I was saying thanks. How's it going?
It's
Who's this?
Hi, my name's Evelyn Gray. I'm from South Carolina, and I just want to express my condolences to the family and friends of Mollie Tibbetts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty. I wasn't really expecting. I don't think anybody predicted this. That it was going to be, Well, I mean,
sir.
I guess we predicted because my prediction was, I don't know if she knew him, but it seems like she did. Mine was that it's probably somebody that she knows, and she was abducted while jogging. That's how I deduced it after all of the rigmarole. That's where I ended up. But I didn't think
having a dog would have helped her.
Well, maybe if she went running with the dog. She had two at the house she was at, but she never made it back home.
I've walked a lot by myself. I've just never, had no fear of anything happening like that to me. But I just wonder what you can do now, what we can do as a woman to protect ourselves even more, Yeah. It's just very sad.
I guess the thing that nobody predicted that it was going to be an illegal alien. I think people were thinking. I guess in reality, it doesn't matter that part. The only part that matters is, like I said earlier, but I'm not going to go through that again. But I'm just saying that it's somebody that she knew, and
it always is. It seems like.
Yeah, we don't know for sure, but I think it's a pretty good chance because if you put up I'll put that screenshot up again. Iris Monarez, or however you say it. She's friends with all three of the Tibbetts siblings, and she's the girlfriend of Chris, the guy that killed her. So how is that not possible? How is it possible that she's friends with all three of them, but somehow her boyfriend doesn't know anything about any of those people? It just doesn't make sense. So
I don't know that part about the case. I'd have to study that further. It's just I was just hoping they'd find her alive. Like I say,
me too.
It's hard. You always look at the family first, And to be honest, when I was looking at the case, I wanted to point my finger at the brother the whole time, Yeah. And I would have been completely wrong if I didn't keep an open mind. But if I would have had to say, if I would have had to voice my opinion without any facts, I automatically felt some type of way, you know, about the brother for no reason at all, and that's just not right. But that's the truth, you know. So
no, I appreciate that. The thing is I think all of us think things like that. Like I've had conversations about different people. The thing that I do is I actually sit back and I go, wow, like what you just said. I go, is there any real reason? Like for example, Dalton, the boyfriend. There's zero evidence of any kind that should lead anybody to think Dalton had anything to do with it, right? So I just never would say that, and I never said that. You know, I thought some of the comments that Mollie made about one of the brothers, you know, choking her seemed a little bit weird, but I never thought, well, he's got to be the killer. You know, sometimes it crosses your mind, something weird. You know, maybe they both didn't like her because she was in her dad's wedding and they weren't, that kind of thing. But it's just sort of like you sort of weigh it and go, nah, forget it. You know.
I just automatically ruled it like with him because he was the last one to talk to her. I mean, even if I'd have been his mama, I would have still been questioning him. You know,
I bet you wouldn't. I bet you wouldn't. Well, maybe you wouldn't because you'd know him, right? Like.
Oh yeah, yes sir, yeah, right. Like I would know my child. Like I wouldn't believe it. You know, like they probably knew, but. I don't. It's just I don't know what made me think that. Just the fact that there was no. Well, one reason is because there was nobody else to blame. You know, I mean.
Right. Yeah. That's sort of what happens
so I kind of pointed my fingers at him.
Like when there's a lack of
and I'm
information.
Sorry.
Well, you don't have to apologize. But hey, maybe you learn something. I hope a lot of people learn something. You know, in this case, that's why sometimes people go, Gray, tell us who you think did it. Who do you think? I almost never. In cases like this, I almost never try to find out the who. It's just the how and why, you know, what happened kind of thing. And then, unless there's somebody that's totally glaring, like in the Watts case where the husband, you know, I mean, he basically said, hey, everybody, look, I did it. You know.
Yes, sir.
But I get what you're saying. I wouldn't feel bad, but, you know, next time you probably realize, okay, let me rethink this. If there's no evidence, even though I feel something, it's probably not going to be it. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I had nobody else, you know. I mean, even then my second thing would have been the dad, but, you know, and only because he was just so calm, you know. Yeah. But like I say, I'm from the town where Susan Smith killed her children, you know, and she got on TV and squalled and, you know, she acted... we really believed that woman, you know, that somebody kidnapped her kids and drowned them, and the whole time she did it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, so she really fooled us. I mean, so here, that's been over 20-something years ago, but she pulled her car in. Yeah, she got on TV. We believed her. We believed that it was a black man that robbed her at the light, like she said, and you know, we just believed everything she said, and finally the sheriff there got her to break. He knew something, and he got her to break, you know, after like 9 days, and they finally found the children. Yeah. And she did it because a man, she wanted to date this this rich man, and he didn't want children, so she killed her children.
So she was a female Scott Peterson, basically. Yeah.
I've never heard. Yeah, her name is Susan Smith, though. Like I say, from Union.
Right. Well, Scott Peterson's. You know, you remember her. She's the one that killed his wife because he met somebody named Amber Fry, and he wanted to. You know, he didn't want to be with. He wanted to be with the new lady, so he killed his family, his pregnant wife, basically. But yeah, I mean, a minute ago somebody made a
criminal cases. But I mean, I don't love them like that, but I like to watch them and.
Yeah. And here's the thing is,
you see some crazy stuff.
Yeah, just like somebody in the chat goes, "Hey, Gray, you're not perfect." Yeah, I don't think I'm perfect at all. The thing is, I used to do. I mean, I make a ton of mistakes all the time, right? Like that's the thing, but they're not like, you know. I try not to do the big ones. You know, I'm trying to put the stuff in order, and I've learned over time that you can't just sort of go, oh yeah, this guy did it. This guy. I always question when people say that. I go, how come? What for? And then they'll say something like, they'll say this.
An open mind until I know facts, you know.
Yeah, but they'll say something like this back. They'll say, I just have a feeling. And then when I hear that, I go, then don't say it. Okay, keep it to yourself. Okay, because the feelings aren't worth anything. All right. Now, if you're actually basing it on something, then yeah. But if you start, I'm just going to tell you,
it contaminates the case, and it contaminates other people's thoughts. So when we put false accusations out there, to everybody, they'll just go along with you, and won't base opinion on their own mentality, Quit.
Yeah.
I have a new puppy that's tearing me up, y'all. Excuse me. Quit, Molly. Yeah, and I just got a puppy, and my little boy named her Molly, as a matter of fact. I wasn't even thinking about Molly but now I said, well, if my new puppy, every time I think of her, I'll think of Mollie Tibbetts now. But, of course, Riley didn't name her that after her. But
yeah.
I started thinking about it. But I just feel sorry for her family, a good soul was taken, it seems like.
Yeah, she was a good...
I just wonder if she needs any advice that we can take from Molly's experience to protect ourselves. Me, I take a dog and a gun. Not a gun, mace, and
mace
carry my keys between my finger.
I think mace is a good deal. And a whistle, something where you can just be like, bang, and start spraying, and then all of a sudden that he's going to get the hell out of there. Yeah.
They make, actually, I've seen on commercial, they actually make a mace. They make it's mace, but you run, it's like a monthly service, just like Crime Stoppers or something. And what it is it's mace. And once you pull the trigger to spray somebody, it automatically takes their photo and sends it to that company. They still might kill you, but at least it sends their photo to the like Crime Stoppers. So that's something that I've been checking on.
Yeah.
Y'all have to excuse me. I'm fighting this puppy. Stop, girl.
Yeah. Hey, hold on. Let me say. Hey, listen. Hey, I'm just gonna say this to all my the moderators out there. Anybody that makes comments that are really just disgusting kind of things, just remove them permanently. Okay. Because I don't want those people to ever comment again, all right, on the channel. Now, if they say something stupid, you can do the 300 thing. But just remove them off the channel permanently, all right? That's how I'm going to do it. Thank you. All right, so...
So, ladies, y'all check on this, the mace I'm talking about. Usually, I think you can buy it like at your hardware. Around in South Carolina, you can buy it at the hardware store, and comes with like a monthly fee. But when you pull that mace trigger, it takes a photo and it sends it straight to that database, like to 911. And so they're going to get you with it. So I thought that was something pretty neat.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't need that because I always keep my guard up, and I'm not going to let anybody get that close to me to touch me, And she probably was nice, and he probably just pulled up to ask her a question, just nice, or answered him, and
no, they actually explained it. It wasn't like that. He was driving his car behind her. Then he parked his car, got out, and he started running behind her. And then she literally grabbed her phone and said, "Hey, I'm going to call the police." And then he said he went nuts, and then he doesn't remember anything after that. It's like, whatever, dude. You remember everything, okay? Don't pretend you don't remember. Yeah, that's bogus.
Well, God's going to get him in the end. And us ladies, and men too, we just need to learn from it. And like I said, try to get a picture, send it. But I'm too nice. I'll pick people up and give them rides and everything. But now I also tell them that I'm the driver of my car, and if you try anything, we're both going to die because I'm going to run us into a tree, So sometimes they actually don't want to ride anymore when I tell them that.
Yeah.
They say, "Was you in the military?" I'm like, "No," but I'm just telling you that if you try anything, I'm going to kill us both. So let me do a good deed for you. And I've never met a bad person like that. Quit, Molly. Sorry, y'all. But yeah. But I love your shows, Gray, and like I say, I follow you. I love your work.
No, I appreciate it.
Like I say, you keep me sane through the Kanika case too. I never even watched YouTube till that case. I'd never seen a live before until that case started, and You know, it has about, I told my doctor, and my doctor thinks I'm absolutely crazy. You know, when I told him all about that case, he was like, Evelyn, you've got to do something else with your time.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I was able to provide some sanity to some people. I have gotten a lot of messages from people saying, thank you for the only voice of reason.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get back to listening to y'all.
Okay.
Nice to chat with you, Gray. I really love your work, and I'm a fan, so
All right.
keep up the good work.
Well, thank you. Call again sometime.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right, bye, Chad.
All right, see you
Bye
later.
from South Carolina.
All right.
My Molly's saying bye. Sit down, girl.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye. That's pretty funny. Oh, there we go. This is Gray. You're on the air.
Hey, Gray. Short-time listener, only because I just found you, but first-time caller.
Oh, cool. What's your name?
Yeah. I'm Doug. I'm
Doug?
PR Piper in the chat.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, just a couple. I've just got a couple little pieces, I guess, in my theory. Like, I know they stated in the affidavit, they used the words that he ran along or ran beside her.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are they, do they mean he literally stopped the car, got out, and ran?
Yeah,
Or
I think
could
so,
he
because
possibly
he said he parked it. They actually said
Okay, they did say he parked it.
Yeah, so that would mean let me open it though, because I do have it right here. Maybe we can clarify some of that.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm not arguing.
No, I don't. I mean, my brain might be off too. I don't want to be accused of you're not always right too, Gray. Not by
No, I
you,
wouldn't go there.
but not by you. I'm talking about some of these people. Yeah, I never claimed I am. I make mistakes, but I fix them and I move on. I say, yeah, I was wrong about this. That's how people should do it, right? Instead of trying to pretend.
Understood. Yes, I agree.
Let's see. So let's see. I'm going to open up. Get Mollie Tibbetts. So it was the arrest warrant. Okay, so let me get to the actual narrative here. And let's see. It says the dark-colored Chevy Malibu can be seen numerous times driving back and forth in the area. Let me get to the other part. Let's see. Okay, defendant Rivera stated he parked the vehicle, got out, and was running behind her and alongside of her. Rivera stated she grabbed her phone and said, "I'm going to call the police." And Rivera said he then panicked and got mad and that he then blocked his memory. Pfft, come on, Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, come
I
on.
appreciate that. I had not read, word for word the affidavit, so you cleared that up for me. But then as far as during his alleged blackout, what I think, he freaked out or whatever, got back in his car and ran her down with it. That's maybe killed her right then. But I don't know. That's my theory.
I think that's totally possible. I think we were saying that, like you saying.
Yeah, in my mind, which is why a lot of people are saying, "Wow, she should have fought back," or I mean, and maybe she did. But if it did go down this way, she wouldn't have had a chance.
Right.
But then I believe that's what I think happened, and then he threw her in the trunk, and I believe he said wherever he got to his destination, he discovered she had blood on her head. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, he said, oh, first he said he saw that he had her phone, earbuds were in his lap, and then he checked. Then he was like, whoa, and then he checked the trunk, and oh my God, she was just in there. He doesn't know how she got there. I kind of think what happened is he caught her, and then I think he raped her and did all that kind of stuff, and then he killed her, but he doesn't want to explain that part, so he invents something.
Yeah, and that very well could be, because I'm sure it was, a sexual thing is what initiated it all.
Right.
It was 8 p.m. at night. He he probably just, I don't know,
Had a
I
couple
have
beers.
no evidence to this, but probably just came from the tavern or whatever.
I said the same thing earlier. That's
juiced up, saw a young, pretty girl running down the road.
Yeah.
And, but anyway, then with the trunk, and if she did have blood coming from her head, that could have been why later on maybe he went to the car wash. They may, if that car was spotted around there, however that worked out. But
yeah, you could be right. You could be
I
right.
don't know, that's in my mind why the car wash is kind of tied into it.
Right. Maybe his intention was to get her for sex, but somehow she fought back a little bit. So then he got in her car and said, "Screw you," and ran her over, and then put her in the trunk and dumped her somewhere. I mean, that is possible.
That's kind of where my thinking was going.
Yeah, it's possible. It could be. I don't even know how to even qualify. Like, oh, that's 20% possible, or what? It sounds like something.
No, exactly. There's so many possibilities. I mean, clearly, I'm just thinking out loud, like I guess we all are. I mean, you've put together a great presentation based on facts, so a lot of it's not just thinking out loud. But as far as the the details of what happened in the blackout, we can speculate, but. Anyway, however it happened, man, what a just a sad and awful thing. Oh yeah, and one more thing I was thinking, because this case became so big, and that has irritated a lot of people who are kind of taking the side of other missing individuals, which I get that. But this particular situation with Mollie just had like all the right ingredients to make a sexy news story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it took off from there. And whether that's right or wrong, it really is irrelevant. The fact is, it became huge, and I mean, she basically became America's sweetheart here for this past little over a month.
Yeah, it's a huge story.
And because of that, an unusual amount of people, I think, in my opinion, are greatly invested, have become greatly invested in this case, a lot of interest. And because of that, because of there's so much exposure, and then what we found out with this guy that's arrested, not that I condone this, I do not, but what I think there's a high possibility somebody could try to take him out because there's so many people invested in them.
I'm gonna check something out. Yeah. Well, I was thinking. I think what they should do. I was thinking about this earlier. Is you have a case like this, it gets really kind of a ludicrous amount of money. What they should do after it's solved like this is then divvy that money towards other missing people cases that didn't get the exposure, right? Like give 20,000 of this one,
pay for some more resources.
Yeah, something, or even more for a reward, because some of these cases have like $1,000 reward. Really?
Right.
I mean, Jesus, I'm not gonna rat out on my friend for 1,000, but yeah, you give me 20, maybe, you know what I mean? I mean, I don't know if that actually. I have never actually seen. When was the last case that you heard that a reward actually led to the arrest? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but it would stand to reason that the higher the amount, the better the chance would be.
Yeah, you'd think.
So,
but I don't remember anybody saying, "Oh, Joe Smith collected the $500,000 reward, leading to the."
Yeah, I don't recall either.
Yeah.
But anyway, hey, I'll let you move on to the next caller. I just wanted to throw those thoughts out.
Well, I appreciate you calling in. You sounded good on there.
Thanks for taking my call.
You had a good sound, man.
Yeah, I'm glad I found your channel, man. I'm looking forward to catching up on a lot of your older stuff, too.
Oh, yeah, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
All right, have a good night. Take
it
easy.
All right, bye. That was a good one. The heck was I was looking at something, but now I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, you wanted me to look at the. Nobody call in just for a second. Wish I could put it on hold. I want to look at this You talking about these warehouses right there? I looked at those. I didn't see anything that looked like cameras, but they could be. Like I saw this right here. To me, that looks like a light. You see that shape? Right? I don't see... This is what you're talking about, right? Hey, no problem, Dr. Piper. Alright, just a second. Uh-oh, it's an unknown person. This is Gray, you're on the air. Hello! Okay, forget it. Yeah, I don't see any surveillance cameras on those buildings. This is Gray, you're on the air.
Hi, Mr. Gray. This is Jackie from Houston. How are you doing tonight?
Jackie from Houston. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
So I wanted to share a couple of things. It was quite a sad day today. I was at work and my sister told me that, you know, they found Mollie, and I was just I had a feeling that she was probably not alive when they would find her.
Yeah.
But I felt like I learned a couple of things from this case. My frustration, every time there was a police conference, I felt like I was holding on tight and hoping that, you know, they're going to give us some more evidence, a little tidbit that we could work with. And every time they had a press conference, we would just be frustrated because they would just say, well, we're trying our best. Here's a website that you can call in the tips, you know, that we've created to find Mollie. But we never got any concrete evidence or, you know what I mean? Like any leads.
It's probably a reason they do that, though, you know? Like they probably they didn't want to tip the guy off, you know? So.
Yeah, and that made me realize that the police know a lot more than they let out. So even though the public is frustrated, maybe in Elizabeth and Lyric case, Libby and Abby case, maybe there's so much more that they know, and they just don't let it out. But we as public, as the public feel frustrated that they're not telling us anything.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think on one of the first, right after that, I said it's really just we want to know. Like we don't need to know, and we don't deserve to get to know. But it's really like we want to know, and it's frustrating, right? We're like, oh my God, he keeps talking about what kind of water they got in the food, you know. But in reality, we're not owed anything. A lot of times they're doing it for a reason, but a lot of times, sometimes it seems like they could give a little bit so people could help.
Exactly.
But it's funny though, in this one, if you kind of think through what they had, they already knew who their suspect was. Like, as soon as they saw that video, they probably, like, within days had the guy's name, but they had to keep tracking him and figuring out, like, what he was doing. You know, just, it's weird that it takes that long, though, you know, like a month. It seems like they could have easily caught him before. What made it so that yesterday talked to him? I don't really get it. Like, what changed?
Yeah. I was wondering if they were. I'm sorry. Do you hear an echo while I'm talking? I don't know if
I don't hear one, but people do say they hear it on their end. Sorry.
Okay. I wish I knew how to fix that. I'm guessing maybe they were just running surveillance on the guy, and they finally decided that they would bring him in, and then he just broke down. I do not believe the whole blackout theory.
No way.
His excuse.
Way. Yeah.
I don't think he ran her over. What I think happened was that he saw her, and maybe if he had run into her before in a social circle, he saw her and he recognized her and he ran up to her to, just say hi, hello. And then he realized that she wasn't giving him the time of day, and he felt rejected as a guy. And you know what I mean? And then maybe alcohol played a factor, and then his ego was hurt. And then I just feel like it steamrolled from there. And if I may, I think that he may have panicked and killed her on accident while he was assaulting her.
I don't know. See, to me, the fact that he actually drove his car, parked it, and ran behind her, that's more than just sort of, hey, you want to go out on a date? That's a whack job. Nobody does that. Yeah. I've never seen a girl in my life drove by, jumped out of my car, and started running and going, hey! You know, you know, so I think a lot of people try to figure out a way to make it seem less nefarious, you know, but I guarantee it, he killed her because he raped her and he didn't want her to say who did it, and then he tried to hide her somewhere. Yeah. That's the reality. I mean, I can't say 100%. I'm saying I would bet money on that.
That's a good point. And I'll tell you something. I will confess, I will eat my own words. I would always come in hooting and hollering that I thought it was maybe a serial killer. And I'm just a classic example of what the stories that people can come up in their mind, you know, when you're like, you really don't know who did it. So you think I thought it was a serial killer who murdered her, and he got out of town before anybody could catch him. And that was not even the case. So it's like, I'm an example of the stories that your mind will come up with, you know. And all along, it was just somebody in the same town.
Yeah. I don't know where he lived, though. I'm not sure if he... So there were...
Yeah, in the same town as, I mean, he was not as... It was a guy that, you know, he was in the area.
Right.
I mean, I don't think this guy's like a seasoned serial killer. I think you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I remember at first I was sort of against them being from the actual town because that'd be nuts. Like you'd kill somebody. Yeah. So I don't know where he lives though. He could actually live with the girlfriend right here, and that would be in the town. But he always worked out of town, so you know, because he worked at the farm over here. So maybe he did live with the girlfriend. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would say, I guess. The only positive thing I would say is that at least tonight Mollie's family has closure. You know, they can bring her home and they can send her in peace. I mean, I wish there was something more that could be done, but at least they know where she is. I mean, I'll tell you, towards the end, I was even starting to believe when the dad said that, you know, whoever has her, if you've lost it, please just, you know, let her go. And I started to believe that. I thought that he was just projecting what the police had told him.
Yeah, it seemed like maybe a possibility, but he did say he was just speculating. But I will say one thing. I got to say one. See, I don't, like you said, at least they got closure. I don't think there's anything like that. I think they're just sort of happy that finally, you know, at least happy is not the right word. They feel like, okay, we know who killed her. He's been arrested, and they found her. It would have been... They're really lucky in that aspect that they actually found her and the guy's arrested that quick. A lot of times they'll find her, and then 20 years later they arrest the person, and that family has to sit and wait and say, God, the monster's still out there. So all you can say is that they can start moving on in life, but there'll never be closure with her death or anything. It'll bug them forever. They'll just learn to live with it. That's what I always say. There's I don't think there's such thing as closure in murders.
Yeah, I understand. I agree with what you're saying. I did want to add a little hint, tip before I hung up to all the ladies who are listening and guys. When I know the last caller was talking about pepper spray, here's a tip: do not I would prefer you not buy the pepper spray that's hanging it by the registers at Walmart because it's pink or it looks cute. Those are watered down pepper sprays. They will not do anything to whoever it is that you're trying to get away from. I would suggest going to Bass Pro Shops or Gander Mountain and buying a hunter spray. A hunter spray is more like a gel, and it sprays with the same exact force, but it does a lot more damage, and it's more effective. So I just wanted to put this out there to whoever wanted to, start carrying pepper sprays, which I think, I carry pepper spray when I walk my dogs, and I think, everybody should carry it. But I just want everybody to be safe out there, and just, if you go jogging, please, I've seen girls wearing just headphones in both ears, which I get, but it's, you just never know who is coming from behind. I just think everybody should be aware of their surroundings, men or women, especially if you're jogging late at night.
Yeah. Well, you just said my sign-off line. You said, "Be safe out there."
Well, on that note, I will hang up, and I will keep continuing to listen to the program tonight. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Oh yeah, it was great. Thank you. You had good stuff.
Thank you. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hello, this is Gray. You're on the air. I don't even know. I couldn't even understand what was going on there. It was like some weird noise. It was like a. Do you guys hear that weird sound? No, maybe let's try it again. Hello, this is Gray.
Even dead, she's still a fucking whore.
Yeah, I figured it was gonna be somebody crappy like that. Isn't that weird that losers show up like that? Just absolute morons. Right. Yeah. All right. Hello.
Yes. Am I on the air?
Yes, you're on the air.
All right, great. I turned the sound off my computer so I didn't get the echo, so I was waiting for a verification that I was, in fact, on the air. No, I just wanted to call in because I wanted to confess, a personal fault here that I think is common among people when they're watching these cases unfold on the news. And I noticed, I had not been following the case very closely, but probably just like a common observer, I noticed this farmer who they had interviewed, and I think it's really a common human reaction to look for a villain because we're so used to that. Our minds are sort of trained to that just because of the way the media is, the way they exploit stories, and the way, our culture is, just the movies we watch and things. And I think it's really critical to keep in mind that these are people who whose lives can be changed, overnight when a case like this happens. So you take this guy, for example, this farmer, and this incident happens on his property, and all of a sudden, now we know he was involved. All of a sudden, the media is on his doorstep, and they're interviewing him, and he's put in a position where everything that he does is going to get scrutinized. And I did this too when I was watching it. You kind of think, he's got a history, 4 years ago he did this and that, and, he's looking kind of funny, he's sort of scratching his head and rubbing his face, and he might look a certain way. And
he didn't act the way everyone wanted him to act,
Yeah, and they create artificial connections.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, there's a bit of a delay here, but they create people tend to create artificial connections that in order, and I don't think they consciously do it, but it's just, again, it's a common thing. It's a common human reaction, I think, to then fit the storyline that they think, whether it's subconscious or conscious. So, one thing I wanted to mention is I'm from Minnesota, and my family is from right around the area where the Jacob Butterling abduction took place, which was extremely high profile. And an example I want to tie into this is there was a fellow up there who had a farm, and it was right around where the abduction took place. And he originally, I believe, was cleared. And then many years later, they went back to him, and the whole story got sort of like the dust was kicked up again on it. And it was so easy to vilify him because he was kind of a strange guy, kind of quiet, kind of reserved, and I think they had done some interviews with him, and he seemed really strange. Not unlike what we saw with this farmer, just where if you're already thinking this guy could be the guy, you're going to be more inclined just to say, oh yeah, and that guy, my mom knew someone who knows him and was in I don't know if it was like a church group or a choir thing or what it was exactly, but his life was, for that period of time until the case was eventually solved, his life was turned upside down by that. And it was based on absolutely nothing, so I guess that's really all I wanted to say is just, I think we should be really careful not to scrutinize these people, because we got to remember that they're not public speakers. They're, all of a sudden there's a camera in your face and someone's saying, are you going to do a lie detector test? Are you going to do it? And, he's not doing it. He says he's not going to do it. It's like, this is all happening, so fast. And so, and I do it too. Again, I'm not, I am totally holding myself accountable here, because you got to catch yourself and remember that there's a lot of things that are going to look suspicious. There's a lot of people that are going to act funny, especially when you have brothers and family members all being interviewed at the same time, so that was just one thing I wanted to point out.
No, that's I think that's a good thing to say. I remember watching Cheney or Shaney, whatever how you want to say it. I was feeling weird, because to me, I didn't think he was ever the person. So I kept seeing everybody go, "Oh my God, Cheney." I think you can hear do you have the audio on? Because I hear my. The best way I think for people to call it would be is like you get out of YouTube altogether, and then you just you call in, I think. But I do hear that voice that you're talking about. I'm not sure how that's happening.
I had the sound completely turned off on my end here, so it might be because I'm on speaker on my phone, and so it's kind of funneling back. I don't really know, to be honest.
Yeah. So the thing is, I don't know what to tell people, because what if it turned out to be Cheney? And so I'll listen to what people are saying, but I'm not going to sit there. I mean, you wouldn't believe the emails I'd get, like hundreds of emails with all this detailed stuff about Cheney, and then, I mean, think about how ludicrous some of this stuff is now. Okay, look at, Cheney, his wife, I think, worked at the same company that Mollie worked at, and so maybe she would have had a shirt like that. Then he threw the shirt in the dirt, and then blah, 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 it just goes on and on for, this whole theory.
It's almost creating your own storyline to fit the narrative. And I can see how that can happen, because, again, it is kind of the way the media programs us. I mean, if you're really somebody who follows a lot of news and things, I'm kind of removed from it, but, they're businesses, making money, the media, what they're doing is they are going to, they're going to present a story in a way that is appealing. And I'm not saying there aren't people there. They want to do a good job. They want to honor the victim. I'm not saying that they don't want to do that, but I think just because the way the culture is, we're so knee-jerk now, and we just got to be mindful of the fact that, these people, they're real people, and if there's something credible where it's like, okay, there's a connection that's really like, that's odd, but somebody finds a shirt in this area, and this guy, he stalked somebody 4 years ago. I mean, a stalker that isn't a murderer just because something happened on his property. So, I mean, just those connections are really
Right.
crazy in my mind.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's been kind of a weird case. It's been a little bit of a learning experience for me too, because I remember, facts that you think are facts then change 2 days later. And I remember what was kind of neat is just all the conversations we were having. We as a group, well, I don't know if it's the full group, but I guess me being, I felt like we figured out that the shirt had, you can't even think about the red shirt anymore, right? Like we completely got rid of it. And then when you do that, it sort of opened the door up for some more reasonable conversation. Because once the red shirt was gone, you didn't have to have her at home anymore. Coming back home, and it's just, I don't know. Yeah, it's been a really strange case to see all. I mean, I literally get dozens of emails that are like 10 email strings of all these different people, and I mean, I don't say their names or anything, the people that would email me, but like some of them are like, oh, I was talking to a psychic and they told me this and that, and man, it went, I know who did it, I really did, and it's not even close, it's not even. And I'm just glad it doesn't make it out into the public, because if it gets out in the public, then there are a certain number of people that will believe something like that, and then those people get harassed too.
Yeah, it's a danger. I mean, everything is so fast nowadays. It's like it just catch wildfire real quick, and information, and there's no accountability on the internet, and information is just tossed back and forth, and it is a really weird case. I mean, the other thing I wanted to just mention that you had brought up in a video prior to this was the whole Facebook thing. Part of me says that's a little odd. Part of me also says it might not be that odd because it is a small community, and Facebook, friendships, quote unquote, can be a one-way street, where it's like somebody just decides to send a request, and then the person on the other end, they may not really know them, but if they see, oh, they're from my community, they might just say accept.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, it seems weird that all three of them now. Like you have one sister that's friends with all three, so that's kind of. It is,
that part's weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So it seems like, and it's a small town, and it looks like they might have even lived near that little route that she ran on. So it seems to me like it's not. I've heard them say everybody knows everybody in the town, right?
Yeah.
I mean, people say that all the time, but I mean, 1,400 people really is a tiny number of people in reality. So, I don't know. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, I don't friend hardly anybody on Facebook if I don't know them for a long time. Like, if somebody sends me a friend request, well, unless they're pretty though, no, I'm kidding. Come on. Look, I don't accept really almost any friend requests at all. Like, I have to know people. And I don't want to offend anybody because they ask if they can, they send me a friend request and I don't know how to respond to it. Do I say, just, do people get something, like if you say you're not accepting it, do they get something? He didn't accept it.
I got off Facebook a long time ago, and so I'm not really up to speed on like how it currently is structured, but I know that in chat they have something like that where you can see like when someone's or when someone's read it, and so that's kind of one of those interesting twists to the way everything our social structure in this world is that now everything is like you can see everything right away, who saw this and how long it took for them to respond. So I don't know if there's a similar feature with friend requests, but certainly wouldn't surprise me if Facebook starts to do that, because it's kind of right on par with everything else.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird, and I guess I have to think about it more, that whole Facebook thing, because I'm kind of like, as I got that information from your video, I was like thinking about, okay, when I had Facebook, how would I have been friends with people from my community who I knew were from that area, but who I didn't know personally? And, I probably would have. I mean, because most people just want to be nice, as long as it's not like a stalker or somebody that is not anywhere near, where you're from, and it's like, why is this person?
See, I would be the opposite of what you just said. See, if I was in a small community and somebody wanted to be friends with me that I didn't know, I wouldn't want to give that person any information about me, because now they're close. They could use that, That's where I would be nervous about it. That actually would make me paranoid. I mean, maybe that makes me paranoid, I guess. I would think, wow, let's see, I live in this little tiny town. Like if somebody said, oh my God, Dre, on Facebook, oh God, I live right near you. I live over in a certain town. I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, let's be buddies, and now you can see where I live too. And, it's not like that. Now, there's some people on Facebook that I've met that I would be friends with in real life if we did live in the same town, but I wouldn't give somebody that I hardly know my information, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. No, I mean, it does, and everyone has different views on the whole thing,
Yeah.
Social media is such a beast, really, in and of itself. It's its own entity. I mean, it's not really,
Yeah.
They call it social media, but it's really anti-social media. It's the opposite. It's not trust building. It's not personal face-to-face. No accountability. You can say anything you want. You can hide behind an avatar. So it's kind of scary, And I think, a safety thing too. This doesn't necessarily pertain to this case, but people sharing where they are and when they're going to be gone, and sometimes without even realizing it. Like you might post pictures of things, and someone who's stalking you. Look, if somebody really wants to get to you, they're going to use any information they can, and people are sometimes smart when they really want something. Then it's like they really know how to figure it out. And so just not sharing things that aren't, sharing as little personal stuff as possible, in terms of, don't say where you're going to be, don't, if you have like something not exactly relating to that, but if you have a walking routine, for instance, or a jogging routine, break it up. I mean, don't do the same route every day or on any schedule where somebody's going to see you and know and be able to predict that you're going to be there at that day. So, I mean, those are just little things that, but again, back to social media, I mean, it's kind of a scary thing because it's like, it's growing and it's changing, faster than we're able to really keep up with it and the implications, so.
Yeah. I have a feeling in this case that, something you said made me start thinking of something. I kind of have a feeling that, that was weird how my mind just went on a tangent. But I was thinking that the dad and the, I think Dalton, I bet you they did get to see and know about what do you think about this? The black car and and that they think somebody abducted her. And I think that's what they were just hoping he didn't kill her, right? You get what I'm saying?
I'm not following it exactly, and keep in mind I'm not super up to speed on the case, but I do remember the black car. Yes.
Well, that's a different thing. Today they found it. They said that, I don't know if you were watching earlier in the show, but there was actually this intersection where they saw Mollie running by on surveillance. Then they saw this black, like, four-door, like a sedan driving by. And then they eventually were able to associate that with Mollie.
Oh, yes.
Right. So I think that the killer, that's the killer's car. So right. I think that the dad has known about that car from early on now, because he says, "Oh, they don't tell me anything," but I really think that because I think he knew that she was abducted, and probably was shown that. They might even say, "Listen, we have her on surveillance. We're pretty sure she was abducted. There was somebody," and so he was trying to speak to that person, hoping she was still alive, but he had no information that she was still alive.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know what you said something, and then my mind just made me think of that, even though I can't remember what the hell it was. Maybe it was something about, I think it was your, like, running different routes and things like that.
Yeah. And that, now when you zoomed to that map too, that made me think of, this really bizarre story. And I don't know enough about, people under these circumstances, criminals giving confessions, that it's common to just, like, you know, just say, "Oh, I blanked out," or whatever. If that's kind of a common thing that happens, but it was so weird to me. I'm thinking, like, okay, there was really no specificity given to why he blacked out. You know, did he? You know, maybe they can't comment on that. You know, like when he was doing the press conference, maybe it's that the guy there, he didn't want to get involved too much in the details. But I was kind of waiting to hear, like, okay, what did they ask him why?
He says he just does. He says he just does that. I don't believe that at all. I think it's totally
that's
bogus.
even more suspicious.
Yeah. Well, I think it's suspicious just in general. When anybody says, "Oh, I blacked out," I don't remember, they're just lying. They don't want to have to tell you the gory details. That's what they're just saying. I don't remember, Judge. I said I don't remember. I don't recall. And they'll say, next, ask them a different question then. You know, see, the thing is that's just how it goes. I don't believe any of these people black out at all in any of these circumstances. Now, maybe in a battle or something you're in, like a war zone, and, you know, bombs are blowing up. You're seeing really traumatic stuff around. You know, maybe in a situation like that. But in the regular world, when people are murdering people, they only black out because they don't want to have to explain it to somebody. All right?
Absolutely.
Now, if you talk to a psychologist, they'll say, no, it's possible, boy. That's because you believe them. That's the truth. Can anybody really prove somebody is blacking out? Literally. How would you prove it?
Well, that's the thing. It's kind of like just the convenient excuse. You know, what's the most convenient excuse you could give? Probably that.
Yeah. And the thing, that's exactly right. And the thing is you can't prove it. If somebody said, well, he blacked out, and you ask the psychologist, yes, people are able to black out. How can you prove it? Well, we've done studies where the person says, I don't remember something. Well, how can you prove, sir, that person doesn't actually remember, but they're just telling you that? Well, we have shut the hell up, man. You guys, listen. Yeah. They just tell you that, and it's just all mumbo-jumbo at that point. Watch, some psychologists will come on. Great, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, man. There's people that have it. Right.
It's a weird deal. I mean, you wonder, you know, in time, are more details going to, you know, start emerging? Is he going to start, you know, remembering?
I think what he did was he told a miraculous amount of information for somebody that's going to be, you know, he admitted it. He just said that he doesn't remember anything at all of during the really bad stuff, and that's really because he just doesn't want to say it. But everyone knows that he murdered her. He basically is admitting that he murdered her. So he's toast, right? He just doesn't want to ever have to explain what happened. It'll be up to the prosecutor now to put together and say, listen, we see that she has a strangulation marks and then blunt force trauma. We think that, and she was sexually assaulted. We think that she was sexually assaulted, and then when he was done, he hit her in the head with a blunt force object, most likely a blunt, it'll fill in the blank. They'll have to do the story, and the jury's going to believe it, you know, because the guy isn't going to be able to say anything. There might even just be a plea. He's going to plead to life in prison without parole, because there's really no other option, right?
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, you know, I'm kind of like trying to think of similar cases like this, and I just can't.
No, he wouldn't plead to life in prison without a parole. Yeah, you would never, since the maximum is life without parole, he wouldn't plead to that. He would go for it, see if they can work something out, maybe get something a little bit less. You know, it's like he has nothing to lose because that's their max, is life without parole. So he wouldn't never plead to that. He'd maybe plead to something like 40 years, and then you're up for parole. You know, he might do something like that if he told exactly what happened. If somehow all of a sudden his memory came back, you know. We'll give you 40 years if your memory comes back somehow. And then he says, sure, I'll take it. Ah, so you were lying. We won't have you sign the documents now.
Well, and, you know, I don't know how blanking out works as far as, what you can recall afterwards and memory and all that stuff. But it's like, the other funny thing is, like, it's okay, he remembers all the details just prior, and then he remembers just after when he found her with the the blood on her head or whatever. And it's like the stuff in between that was the time where everything happened. It's like he doesn't remember that because that's when he blacked out. But I mean, if you were to black out, would you really remember everything before it with such specificity and after? And
right.
So it's just, the whole thing is just, I mean, obviously it's bogus. The fact that you blacked out, the likelihood of that is so impossible. And then to do it, and then to also have like it bookended by all the details is just ridiculous.
Yeah, see, look at this part right here. It says, Rivera said he then panicked and got mad, and then he blocked his memory. So he intentionally blocked it. That's the way they wrote it. Which is what he does when he gets very upset and doesn't remember anything after that until he came to an intersection. So all of a sudden he blocked out everything until he got to some intersection somewhere, and then Rivera stated he then made a U-turn. So that's probably that intersection. If I was going to look at this map, I would say that he drove all the way to here, then turned around, drove back. But what doesn't make sense is how quickly he's 15 miles away, because it says, Rivera stated he then made a U-turn, drove back to an entrance to a field, and then drove into a driveway to a cornfield. He noticed there was an earpiece from headphones in his lap, so the headphones that she was wearing, and that is how he realized he put her in the trunk. So all of a sudden the earphones in his lap went, you know what? I bet I put somebody in her trunk. Like, with that, right. Like I don't think anybody would ever do that, right? Like, oh wow, I've got headsets in my lap. I must have put somebody in a trunk, right?
Yeah, this whole thing reads really funny too. I mean, it's like it's like somebody recalling a dream they had, And then I turned around, and it's just
And then he said he went to get her out of the trunk. And he noticed blood on the side of her head. So what he's doing now is he's laying out I noticed there was blood. I don't know how it got there. But he wants them to make them realize that he did see it. Right? On the side of her head. The defendant, Rivera, described the female's clothing that she was wearing, including an earphone or headphone set. And the defendant further described, I don't even get anything about the U-turn and the cornfields and any of that crap. Like, how did she end up, 10 miles away? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong here, but didn't it say he found the earphones in his lap?
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. He said he found the earphones in his lap, and then he said, hey, I must have put somebody in a trunk.
Yeah, and then it said she was wearing, including an earphone, later down there.
Yeah, so maybe he was describing what she looked like when he was running down the road. Like she was running down the road, and he remembered the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Right here it says, the defendant further described during the interview that he dragged Tibbetts on foot from his vehicle to a secluded location in a cornfield. Rivera described he put her over his shoulder and took her about 20 meters, that's about 65 feet probably, into the cornfield, and he left her covered in some leaves, and then he left her face up, so she was on her back, and that almost makes you think that that's where she was killed. Why would you leave? You kill somebody, you put her on her back and cover her with leaves. I don't know. Yeah, it seems like he would almost kill her there, hit her in the head, and he just covered her with leaves. I don't know. They'll figure that part out. He might have killed her somewhere else, but it seems strange that she would be on her back. But he definitely said that, though, right? Like, it's kind of weird. Like, why would he want to say that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mention it.
Strangeness.
It reads just totally bogus. I mean, it's a bogus thing, and
Yeah.
so I mean, anyway, it'll be interesting to see how it unfolds for sure. My prediction is that more details will emerge.
Yeah. Well, definitely.
More specific details, even from him. I mean, not just obviously they have forensics and all that, but I think I could be wrong, but I think that he'll start to remember.
Yeah. Well, the autopsy apparently it sounded like they were sort of open to, like, when the autopsy comes out, they'll give more information.
Yeah.
Because he admits to killing her. I don't think it's a stretch to then say, well, here's that information. It's when they don't admit to it that you want to keep that kind of stuff close to the vest so you can explain to them what your theory is. But he's already admitted to doing it, so.
Yep.
All right.
Well, I'm going to sign off and let someone else
well, I appreciate it.
I'm going to get something to eat because I'm pretty hungry.
Yeah, I heard you cooking dinner, too. That was what my interview with Mike and Becky Patty of the Delphi case. They were cooking dinner. Of course, I joked around about it a little bit, but you probably didn't watch that video, but it's pretty funny.
I just found your channel today, and I've just been kind of off and on the computer today, so this is all like super brand new to me.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, cool. Welcome aboard, as they say. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, good call.
Good to talk.
Yeah, thanks for that was good information. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep, bye.
Bye.
I don't think he ever said what his name. Did he say what his name was? Hello, this is Gray. You're on the air.
Hi, Gray. This is Sudeep calling from India.
Oh, wow.
I've been following your.
All right.
I've been an ardent. I live in the U.S., but I'm in India at this point.
Oh,
so
that's
I'm
crazy.
an ardent follower of your podcast.
Oh, yeah? Cool. I appreciate it.
So thank you. It's absolutely great. It's absolutely great. So I have this quick question which I posted there, that if she confronted him at the junction of, I don't remember the streets. One was Middle, the other one was...
Boundary.
Boundary,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It is strange that she decided to pursue the more desolate part of the town than turning back towards the busier part of the town.
I don't think that's where they. I don't think that's where they were confronted. Let me look at this again. I think they just have. Let me read this part up here. I don't mean to cut you off, but I don't want you to have to. Let me see. It says the video was from. This is the surveillance. It just says the video was from the evening of July 18th, 2018. After review of the video, it was determined that Mollie Tibbetts was running near the area of Boundary and Middle Streets when a dark-colored Chevy Malibu was in the same vicinity. The dark-colored Chevy Malibu can be seen numerous times driving back and forth in the area. It was determined through other investigation that the dark-colored Chevy Malibu was connected to, the killer, Christian Rivera. But I don't think that's where the confrontation was. The affidavit on the previous page actually says on the 1900 block of 385th is where the offense took place. Okay, and that would be.
I see.
I don't know if are you able to see the screen right now as I'm doing this, or?
Yeah, I can see the screen. See the screen.
So it would be right there. That's where the pin is, up in this area. That's where they have it located as the position. But wow, all the way from India though. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, I do follow your podcast.
Yeah, I did one on a family from India too one time. Do you remember that one? I can't remember. They went off a cliff in California, something like that, with their car. Did you ever see that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, go ahead. I mean, I didn't want to. I hope I didn't ruin what you were gonna say. I'd mess up your theory, right? I did, didn't I? I messed it up. I apologize.
No, yeah, even then, it's interesting that she he decided to pursue that. I mean, I would have, and I know every person is different, but I would have kind of turned back towards the town, right? Maybe she did, who knows, right? But what the direction of her run was at that very point.
Yeah. It sounds like the guy actually had seen her run a few different times.
Hmm.
You know, like he knew her pattern. I'm kind of curious the thing about that he was driving back and forth. I don't really get that part. Was that him thinking about, like, gosh, should I do this? Because she went down that road, right? It's not like you're doing loops around her. There's no way to do it if you look at the map. So I don't know why he'd be driving back and forth here. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit weird.
Yeah, the only explanation is he was driving back and forth to make sure that no one else turns up. So, like, sometimes when you have a guilt in mind, you're making sure that no one else turns up at that point. So going back and forth and making sure that
see if there's no cars
in the vicinity or no one is approaching it.
Right. So maybe he's just driving around and checking to see if there's even any cars moving around in the town. And then he goes out on this road, and then when you're out here, you can see far, right? Like if I put Google Earth right here, even just back here, let's see what this looks like.
Right.
So that's what it looks like.
Because we would never know that whether he did similar things in the past. So he could have been kind of looking for the right opportunity and doing that same action over a few days repeatedly, right? And this was the most opportune moment.
Right, like he had dry runs, like, you know, like on the 9/11, the hijackers took flights on the same airlines, but didn't do anything those times. But they were just kind of practicing. Yeah, he could have done something like that. Sure, that makes sense. Maybe not quite a dry run, but he's just sort of feeling it out and kind of getting his courage up. Sort of, oh, I can do this, man. Look at she's all alone. I mean, what kind of nut job thinks like that, though? You know, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing, like the pig farmer thing that happened like few days in succession. Do you think it was after Mr. Rivera was already identified or before? Because
yeah, I do. I think that they actually knew. Yeah, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Because if they had identified the car by then, and if they had tracked the car down to this gentleman, then what was the purpose in interrogating Mr. Cheney so many times?
Well, that was pretty.
Being interrogated more as a witness.
Well, that is kind of true, right? Like, why is maybe they were just doing follow-up because they weren't absolutely sure. See, I have a feeling that they had this car, they know the guy's phone number, and they were tracking his cell phone through, data dumps from the cell towers, and then at one point saw that it was down in this area. But yeah, I mean, that's a good point about like Cheney. Like, if you already got this car and you've already identified it to being this guy, maybe they're just crossing their I's, dotting their T's, making sure that it wasn't somebody else, because they didn't have any proof at that point. They just saw this black car driving around. They didn't know that person actually abducted her. It's just you saw a car drive by, and then Mollie never came back, but that doesn't mean much. But I think they identified it as being his car, and then they probably tracked his. Went back and looked at the ping information, and I think that's why they checked in those areas, because the pig farm areas are very close to that 460th and Highway 21. It's just down a little bit, like a mile away is Cheney's house. So they probably just weren't sure, and they were like, God, it is close to there, and there is this guy that has stalking in his past. He's right there. So maybe they kept asking him questions. But yeah, that's a good point. I'll I'll give you that.
Maybe because all our speculations about Cheney were actually fed by the media. This guy has a past, and maybe he was being interrogated more as a witness than as a culprit. Who knows? Did you see anyone driving? Who knows what transpired in those 2 hours of interrogation? Right? We never know.
Yeah,
so,
that's true. And I bet you law enforcement didn't mind at all that everybody was focused in on this guy, and it made the perpetrator feel safer. You see? So he might have got a little careless. And I do kind of wonder, I was wondering early in the morning, is it possible, which, yes, everything's possible. But maybe the guy moved the body there later after he realized that the police had already searched there. Then he put her there later. But it sounds like they just missed her the first time because she was covered with corn stalks or leaves or whatever you call those.
Right.
So. Yeah, you brought up some good points there.
Thanks.
Yeah, you got some good points. Yeah, no, I said you brought up some good points.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, and thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, well, call again sometime. Do you ever do any chats and all the people chatting over there? Do you have a
Yep.
Oh, you're in there? Okay, maybe I don't know. What name do you use in there?
I use GUTTGIP. That's my Yahoo ID. But
okay.
and my Google ID as well. So.
Yeah. Well, hey, I really appreciate
Thank
you calling in. All the way from India, everybody. We reach everybody on YouTube. All right. All right. Thanks a lot. Okay. Bye. All right. That was pretty cool. Wow, we've got India, Australia, New Zealand, UK. This is Gray. You're on the air.
Hi, Gray. How's everyone doing?
Not too bad. Who's this?
This is Stephanie.
Stephanie. All right.
From Pickens, South Carolina. Stephanie Kelly.
All right. Are you in the yeah, I think you're chatting there, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I see you
Kelly.
all the time. Yeah, I see you all the time.
Yeah. Okay, first and foremost, Alpha Lax, he wanted me to give you a theory. He says, what about the Mexican guy? His ex-girlfriend, whatever her name is. Do you suppose she suggests that the Mexican guy killed Mollie?
What for?
I don't know. I just told him I would ask you.
Yeah, I mean, everything crosses everybody's minds. Like you think, well, geez, what reason would the girlfriend have? Maybe he said, the Christian guy said, wow, Mollie's cute, man. And then she got really angry. But then she's not the one that did anything. I don't really, I don't see that at all, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I just see.
And I was.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was echoing or something.
No, that's all right. Go ahead.
I was wondering if the ex-girlfriend ever suspected maybe it was him. What do you think?
Well, it is a little bit weird that the girlfriend created a new Facebook account on the 18th, the same day that she got abducted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like she created a whole new Facebook account. Don't you think that's a little bit weird?
Very weird. I didn't know that. And on the news tonight, it was showing the camera footage that you had, and it was showing the one that you thought was a camera. That is a camera, according to the Channel 21 news here. Y'all, I'm sorry, I'm nervous.
Wait, really? The camera that I have on that building?
Yeah, that's what I kept telling you in the chat. Brady was right about that camera.
Boom! Well, I'd have to see it, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, it's on Fox 21, yeah. And,
Does anybody have a link to that?
United States.
I want to see. Does anybody have a link to that? I want to see it.
I'll get it for you. And he was in the United States illegal.
Oh yeah, he was illegal alien. But you're saying on this
Yeah.
little building right here, this little shed that's I've got, that's a camera right there, right?
Yeah, 'cause it was showing. It said that a neighbor had footage of the car going by and everything, and it zoomed around and got to that building, and it zoomed up. Not real close, but close enough that I was like, oh, wow, Grace said that was probably a camera.
Yeah, it took me a while to find it. I wasn't even going to look at that building. I mean, when you look at that building, you just go, oh, why would you ever put like it just looks like garbage, right? But man, then that's the only place that I zoomed in and I saw something that looks like a camera. The way it's angled doesn't look like a light to me, because a light you'd have it aiming down so that, or a little bit at an angle so it would light the ground up, not straight out like that.
I think it's maybe an older one. I mean, it still serves the purpose, of course.
Yeah.
But you were right, yeah.
Well, put that link in there. I got to check that out.
I'll definitely do it, but I'm gonna,
Oh, go ahead.
But I'm gonna hang up now.
Oh.
I'm a nervous wreck. I'm
Okay.
a shy kind of person.
Well, thanks for calling. I appreciate it, Stephanie.
Oh yeah, hi Daro and Wendy Lou and Big Diddy and everybody. Love y'all.
Okay.
Thanks, Gray. You do a great job. Love you so.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. All right,
Bye.
Bye. All right. So somebody just called a second ago from 503. Where is that one? Do it again. Yeah, there it is. All right, this is Gray. You're on the air.
Hello?
Hello. Hey, you got to turn down the audio. Oh, boy.
All right, Gray, you're on.
The classic rookie phone call mistake. You have to turn down the audio from the show. Oh, there it is. Oh, I can't tell if it's still there. I don't know what happened. Yeah, you have to. If you call in, you have to turn down the audio of the video, or you get the feedback loop. You know, when you hear those people call in, like when Art Bell would answer the phone and say, "Hello, yep, yeah, you got to turn down your phone. I mean your radio. Turn down your radio." See, I just heard it. I just heard it again. That's crazy. I haven't heard me say. No, I was kidding.
I was on my tablet to get the phone number to use to call on my phone.
That was hilarious.
Turn it on.
That was hilarious. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going outside.
No, you have to turn down the audio of the video though. You can't have it playing. Okay.
It's on my tablet, and so I came outside so I was get away from that.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Okay. And I am with you on all of it, what you're saying, because I didn't have the feeling that she had been killed either. And I thought that they knew that they thought she was alive, and they sort of knew who she may have been with, and that the dad was baiting people whenever they had the call, whenever he would do the conference things.
Yeah.
And then I find it interesting that he said that she said she was going to call the police. That makes you think that he's done something or said something to her before, because in a small town, I'm from a town basically the size of that. I mean, people know people, and I wouldn't just automatically say I'm going to call 911 on you.
Well, but yeah, I was thinking that maybe she's met him before and he was always kind of creepy, but wouldn't you threaten to call the police anyways if you were in a small town running, and even if you knew the person, they park their car, start running behind you? And, I mean, it's a little bit weird, right? Like,
did he say that he was called? Wait, now I'm confused. I thought he said that when he got out of the car, she called the police. So it was after he had. No,
he parked the car on the side of the road, and then Here, I'll just read that part again, just so you can hear it.
Okay.
Because it's, it said, let's see. Okay, it said Rivera admitted to making contact with a female running in Brooklyn and that he pursued her in his vehicle in an area east of Brooklyn. Defendant Rivera stated he parked the vehicle, got out, and was running behind her along the side of her. Rivera stated, and then she grabbed her phone and said, "I'm going to call the police," just like that.
Well, and then I thought when they had the fake Facebook account that came out, they had showed it on one of the stations, but it got taken down immediately. I thought maybe she was still alive and that was someone that had her, and so they was doing that angle, so I really didn't expect her to be dead.
Yeah, I wasn't sure either.
And I've worked in the prosecuting office for 17 years. So, I mean, usually you kind of get the feeling with what they're saying might be one way or the other, and I just didn't see that coming this morning whenever I saw it. So anyway, I was going to tell you, because the other night I was looking at stuff and somehow I ran across your channel. I don't even know how I got in it. And you was showing Sikeston, Missouri, and I'm like an hour away from there.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, heck, he's telling me that some girl almost got abducted there, and it's not even on our news station.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. And I was like, and then you said just from Oregon. I was like, that is insane that I'm learning this from someone at Oregon on YouTube.
Hey, well, we get all the information here at. Well, it's just called the Great Hughes Channel.
I just thought that was kind of weird. And then they said that they didn't say anything like if they recovered her phone or Fitbit, but in one article they said that it was the clothes matched up.
Yeah, it matched what he described. He's apparently.
So I don't know, but your channel is very interesting.
Well, thank you. Wow, so you just found me this week, huh? I guess it works. Yeah. Well, you should go check out some of my other cases, like the Hart family. You remember that family that those two women that adopted all those kids and then drove them off a cliff and killed them all? Yeah. I mean, I did a whole bunch on that. Same kind of thing where I was showing all the, we're not always,
I know.
Yeah.
I know had some cases that you probably could have done some work on that would have been a whole lot easier than stuff we had done.
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing is, I think I mean, it'd be great to help, law enforcement sometime, but what would suck is I wouldn't be able to do that on the air, It would just be...
Right.
Like, that, I mean, it's sort of what happened in the Delphi case, I always say, is that I made a video, and then somebody in the prosecutor's office contacted me and said, "Hey, God, we thought that was really cool how you got that, explain it. If there's ever a trial, it'd be great to have something like that." So I said, "Oh, okay, cool." But at that point, it would mean that I couldn't be making videos for everybody else. Because if I had to go to trial and be like an expert, they'd say, "Well, what about this video when you called people rodeo clowns?" I don't know. I don't know why I called him that. Judge?
Just what I thought of at the time.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Judge. I didn't mean to call them rodeo clowns, but they just were. And he'd probably say, "Okay, I'm with you there. I'm with you there."
Yeah, I thought it was kind of strange though, because everything you were saying, I was like, "Yep, I think that's what happened. I think that's what happened."
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think it's horrible that anyone has to go through that.
Well, I'm gonna try to get on to do more cases. I was just starting to do other cases, and then boom, these two cases that just blew up, the Watts one and this one, and Tibbetts.
The Watts, when I watched him, I told my husband, I was like, I think something's up with him, but I didn't know like if he was responsible or if he had someone do it. But I felt like, that with Mollie, I never felt like that.
Yeah,
she was going to be dead.
Well, with Watts, I thought
that was infatuated with her.
Well, like with Watts, I thought, there's a good chance that he did it, but I wasn't really willing to go, "Oh yeah, he did it," because I don't really know. But he ended up doing it. But I thought, the odds are he did it. And then as I thought he did it later in the evening, like on one of the days when all this other stuff came out about surveillance, him backing in, not seeing anybody else. Then it was like, okay, So that's when you can sort of speculate pretty safely on somebody.
Yeah.
But look at all the people in the Tibbetts case. All these family members that owned homes around there, every single witness on the street, every single, Cheney. Like, there's 50 people that have been accused of something just in that small town.
Well, and that's when they said that the red T-shirt that everyone was blowing up about. I was like, I just don't believe that there is a red T-shirt, and if there was, someone planted it. I just didn't think that was like a big.
I think they might have planted the idea of the red shirt. See, here's the thing. Let's say they were onto that guy a while ago with the black car, the killer, and they were checking around in that street, and then they said, listen, we need you to put out that we saw a red shirt, and that's why we're here. And that would make that guy feel safe. Okay, it's not about me. It's about the red shirt. Okay, something else led him out here.
Exactly. Well, when they said today that they was going to give, there would be a lot of information. I didn't expect them to say as much as what they said.
Yeah, today's press conference was kind of cool. It actually made me feel bad about being harsher on that guy a couple other times, but because I realized, wow, he is willing to tell us stuff. He just didn't want to jeopardize. And seeing the nature of how this went down, I totally get it now. So I think next time I'm going to be, start being a little less critical when, they're basically all the same anyways. I don't remember one case where right away they start saying, yes, we believe it's this guy and he was over here at this time. They always say, we're not able to share that at this time. It's pretty common.
Yeah, and it's bad when you know what's going on behind the scenes and you come home and you can't say anything. So, we get to work and we'd all just, this is what, what we think, because we'd have all night to stew it over, and you can't tell people, and it's just, you want to say, this is what we need, but you can't do that.
Yeah.
So, anyway, but I was going to tell you that's how I ran across you, and I think it's a cool channel.
Well, thank you. Don't be a stranger. We're going to keep going on different cases over and over, different all the time. That's all I do is true crime. So, I will say this. I do have another channel it's actually called Personal Paranormal Experiences, but it's a totally different channel. But it's just, those things, everybody always has something crazy in their life that happens that you can't explain. And I'm not going to debunk it, but I do make them look like a sort of mini documentary on their story, right? So it's pretty cool. I don't know if you've seen any of those, but I have them on my channel too. So if you scroll down the videos, you'll see they're in there because I put them on there just to sort of promote my other channel, just so people can see what I'm doing. And they join a Facebook group called Personal Paranormal, and they write up their story. Then they put photographs, and then they call just like you are, and I record it, but they just tell their story, and then I put it to photographs, and it's pretty cool actually. So,
oh, cool! I'll have to get on there and look at that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, the stories are amazing, really. They're spooky.
In our house.
Watch, on Halloween, I'm going to play them all in order. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. That's going to be crazy.
Well, my son sent a picture, and I won't even put it on my phone.
Yeah.
Me out so bad.
Yeah.
I'm like, no way. I'm not even. He sent it to us, and I was like, no way. I'm deleting this. I do not want it on my phone. So, but well, have a good night.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for calling. I appreciate it.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Bye. Yeah, someone from Oregon called earlier, but I don't know what happened to that one. I don't have the ability to call it back, but there was a loud feedback going on, and then they hung up. Yeah. This is Gray. You're on the air. Oh, ooh, X-Files. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. I think I got a feedback loop on that one. It was sounding good for a minute there. I think that was that guy, something PDX, that came on. All right, hold on a second. I'll be back in a minute. This is great. This is Jesus. I'm getting the X-Files calls. All right. I won't be answering that number again. All right, I'll be back in a second. Yeah. Oh, I thought I was talking to you guys. Yeah, so I just I thought I would just turn off the if anybody else wants to call, that'd be great. But I'm not going to answer this one. I'm not really sure what's going on. I don't really know. I can't block that number because it's just a regular number. Of course, it has to be somebody. But if anybody else wants to call, I'll take that phone call. This is Gray. You're on the air.
Yellow.
Yellow.
Yeah, you can't deport us all.
Who are you talking to? What are you talking about? Hello. I don't get it. Jesus. Sounds like some people are like proud that this guy did this or something. Yeah, I don't really get that part. I've had a couple of crazy calls. This is Gray. You're on the air.
Hi, Gray. It's Mia.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, good, thanks. I thought I would ring in and stop the idiots.
Thank you.
Bloody idiots, for God's sake.
What's going on out there?
I'm a bit down. This is a bit down, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all a bit somber. I can't read and listen either. I do get tired of people asking the same bloody questions in the chat when it's like if you just bloody listened, you would have got the bloody answers.
It's a bad day. It's a bad day for everybody.
I know. I'm just feeling just sad, and I'm just like, shut the hell up. Listen, and you would have heard.
Yeah, maybe it's, sometimes it could be that somebody came on late or something. I do notice that when I'm done, like I might have 350 people watching, but at the end it says there was 1,500 views. So it's like there's a rotating group of, people that leave, that aren't really. Oh. So I don't know if they're new or what, but I feel your pain. It's like when LJ says, "Can you do a recap, Gray?"
Yeah. Can you just a sec, Gray? Sorry.
What's that? Start over again. Yeah. Hello.
Just a sec.
Oh, sick. I can't understand what you're saying. My headset.
Can you hear me?
Now I can. Yeah, what were you saying?
Yeah, sorry, it was echoing back. Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Right.
What I got lost on, sorry, was if she was being followed, she knew she was being followed, or like he was annoying her, like why she went down into out of the, out. Because I had to go out, sorry, and I was sort of, I had to go pay some bills, fun, before they closed. Yeah, great fun. Where exactly, is there a, did we have a, where he indicated he grabbed her from, or because he was following her around a bit?
Well, he didn't actually seem like he said it, but they gave an address of 1900 block 385 is where the incident took place. Apparently. I mean, it could be right around there, but this is where she was seen on, I don't know if you're looking at my screen or the video.
I actually am.
But like right here was where she was seen running, and so was the black car, and then apparently the incident took place in this area, like maybe along this stretch right here. 1900 block 385th, and then he says, I did a U-turn at the, so maybe that was down this right here, perhaps. You see how you see how law enforcement on the map they gave out the other day, they circled right here. So perhaps they circled that, wondering if you saw anything weird there, noticing, a car did a U-turn, perhaps right there at that intersection,
right?
Or and then drove back this way, because maybe
she can't have had. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, she can't have had any indication she has been followed then to have turned down that long way out into the country. That's all I was thinking. Is why on earth no one would go out there if you'd already were being followed.
I wonder,
surely.
Like the guy, it seems weird that he would park right there. I mean, I can't see that. There's no street view there. So I don't know if he parked there. I think this is just sort of a general, block 900. So maybe that goes out to here. So maybe he parked his car on the side of the road, ran her down, did something to her. But it's weird that, how would he get her back to the car? See, there's some stuff he's saying that don't really make a lot of sense. Like you're going to attack somebody that you went running after, and then all of a sudden you have to get her back about, let's say 100 yards back to your car, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
You don't think he could just have dragged her?
Well, he could have, but I mean, that's such a risky thing, right? With cars driving around,
Do you think, though? It looks so isolated.
Well, it's isolated, but, there might be a car that would show up in that long. But it was, it was at 8 o'clock at night, I guess. And, it is isolated, and there isn't really even a lot of people that live out there. I'm just saying it's a little weird to go running after and then she gets mad. Then you do something, and then somehow she ends up in your trunk. There might be something that's totally not. He's not saying the truth here. Like, he could have. I mean, he admits to killing her, so I don't know why he wouldn't admit to it. But
don't they usually underplay things a little though until the truth comes out? They just, they'll omit so much in them, but underplay certain things too.
Yeah,
but exactly. I found all the theories building up to this, but it's exactly why I didn't want to speculate on people, because look what's happened.
Yeah.
I find it really sad. Like, I think that's what's got me down to, is that people made so many speculations on people, and that just.
Right.
I would never like to. I mean, it must be bloody awful to be. Be speculated about, or people putting your name out there like it's the boyfriend.
Well, I actually
Nate,
have
Nate. It's someone. It's this. It's that. It's like, oh my god.
Well, I have first-hand experience.
Never name somebody.
I've been one of that person, and like 3 cases that I've worked on, they always say, "Oh, you know too much, Gray," and then all of a sudden my name's out there. People make videos about me and stuff. It's just.
Oh, you've been speculated about.
Yeah, it's part of it. No, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Every single.
And what does it feel like?
No, it sucks. It's like, you feel like you're because people get angry and believe it. That's how dumb society is. There's so many dumb people that they actually believe that stuff about me. So I've had to make videos saying, "Look, it's not me. Look, it's ludicrous."
Yeah. It sticks. Things stick, and I stuck with the theories were interesting, but no, I hope it's a bit of a lesson maybe to our group, our family, that maybe in the future we stick to theories, because it is sad to speculate on people. It does stick, and done to others, I mean, you wouldn't like it done to you if you just lived in the town, or you were the neighbour accidentally to someone, and in chat rooms like us we're going, oh, it's her, it's him. She's so dodgy looking. No, I've got anxiety. I just look like that all the time.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you don't want to put the video on the screen. Oh my God, you see the way she glanced over in that direction? Ooh.
I know. And that's just why I was, talking. Someone said in the chat about anxiety. I think it was Audra actually, and it was like, I feel you. It's like, I was saying I get pulled over in the airport because I'm so anxious. So they always pull me over, and then when they pull me over, I get more anxious. And so, anxiety's a bad thing. It makes you look really bad. Yeah. So you can't judge a book by its cover, and you can't. It's just, I just don't think it's right to speculate on people. It sticks, and it's not right. So I feel so bad for all those people that have been talked about.
Yeah.
People are so certain too.
Well, yeah, you should see like some of the emails I got are almost like a dossier on somebody. Like, wow, man, you have all these different like layers going on. I never put them in videos or anything, so at least they're just emailing me and stuff like that, and they're not making it public. So I don't really think that's that bad, right? It's when people actually, you're out in the public making a video and you're saying those kinds of things. That's totally irresponsible, in my opinion.
I agree totally. That I agree, and I'm glad you stick to the theories and you allow people to have their theories, and it's good. But there isn't. You don't tend to. No, I could never. I wanted to scream, but you'd sort of get to the point where you just read over the comments of it's the boyfriend, or you just want to just grab their neck and go, it's not the bloody boyfriend. Leave him alone. For God's sake.
Yeah.
For God's
Well, I mean, they would say it was, the boyfriend, but I'd always say, well, what proof is there at all?
Yeah.
Like none, zero,
And then some people said it's the dad.
Yeah, isn't that sick?
What?
Yeah, like the dad.
The dad flew in, didn't he, because she was missing.
Right. Don't, hey, don't say that, though. Don't say that.
Are you even up with the play? He doesn't even live in the area.
Hey, you're ruining the theory for them. You can't say it.
It just makes me so sad, with the speculation. But now I think this is a big lesson that, well, there you go then. But I do find it, wow, very much a coincidence. And that little fact that you pulled out, I love your little facts and digging you do, and that's what you do so well, is the girlfriend cancelling her Facebook and starting another one up the day after she went missing. Now that put my little ears up.
It's the same day, actually. Like the
and that was like
the 18th, right? I'd like to know what time of day that was. Was it?
Yeah.
Did she make that like at 9:00 at night when he came home and said, "I did something really bad," or, "Hey, our plan," Yeah, I mean that's where the only way she could be involved is if she somehow encouraged him to do it. But I don't really understand why that would ever happen, because she was
and
with
again,
Dalton.
I wouldn't speculate she's involved, but it just was it just did prick my ears up, and I thought, wow,
that is weird, right? Out of all the days of a year,
strangely coincidental.
Yeah, there's 1 in 365 chance that. Okay, how about this? 1 in 182.5 chance that it would be it would be 18 or the 19th, right? Like that's pretty low odds, right? One in, so it's like 2 out of 365, right? That you would just yeah.
And I'm not a big fan on coincidence, I'm not. So it really just was that one was a good little fact you dug there. That one was good. I love them. I love your little facts, and you work hard, you dig hard, and it's great.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of help. People, like Darrow and Vic and everybody.
Darrow.
They send me stuff, and then I'm able to put it together, and have it sort of fit into the sort of factual, what's the seemingly most logical. So it's pretty cool. It's cool that because a lot of stuff I don't have time now, especially some like today when I was live 3 times? Yeah, 3 different. It was crazy. So I don't have time to. In the meantime, like I'm changing Darrow's nickname to Cyborg. Okay, because she somehow her veins or something are connected to the internet. Gossip, whatever. Somehow she gets all these her fingers into the different pages, and people are talking about certain things, and then we go prove it, and then we say, "Wow, that was actually real," and then it makes it out. Like we were wrong on. We thought that the sister of the girlfriend was the girlfriend, but I mean that's sort of a minor thing because what it is there's a connection with him via his girlfriend and the sister to Mollie. Yeah.
Yes. But did Darrow actually go and dig a little further and found it was the other sister?
Well, the thing is, I had previously said to somebody else I was arguing with that I think that's the aunt, not the... And they said, no, look, it says right here. So I went, okay. So I just went with what they said. But it turns out that was right. But then I had to switch back. It's okay though.
Oh, and I love your charts and that's fantastic. You really, you really put in such great work, and it's so clear. I love it. And that was another little fact that was like, small town. They all know each other, and yes, I have to wonder. Did he cover his tracks a bit and delete, friends off with the others?
Yeah, see, that's where then I went.
Because
then I
and
thought
that'll
of
go
that.
back and so
Right.
and will they be able to go back? Which I'm sure they will go back and see whether he was friends originally, and I suppose it doesn't matter now, he's confessed too, so, but another trial that's going to be, you know, like what's going to come up with this one. I mean, the two big trials, I mean, 2 confessions within sort of a week, hey, wow.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, well, and I don't understand, if you can explain to me, like, if your body's been there 5 weeks, how long would it take? And surely, wouldn't there be birds or swarms of birds, like, in the area? Like,
I don't know. Maybe he covered her enough with the... I mean, that's a good question, but maybe she covered her enough with all the corn leaves or something.
Wouldn't they still be after, like,
the smell
and
decay?
Maybe.
Yeah, you'd think.
So
but maybe, maybe that sort of... I'd like to see if she was there the whole time. That's what I want to know.
That's what I don't... I just would have thought that there would have been a noticeable thing like that.
And was she... how long was she... I mean, I'm really hoping she was killed the first night. I mean, it's weird to actually say that sentence, but it's like, yeah, the first...
I know.
Like, right away, actually, I'm hoping.
Isn't that? And there's one thing I picked up too, which I think was a slip of the tongue, is in the press release, the guy slipped up the word rape.
I didn't really hear him say that.
It was like a slip. He sort of went, it was rape, but he went rape right or something.
Huh.
It's like...
I'd have to listen to that again.
If you know what I mean. Like he didn't say she was raped or something. He was meaning the word right or something like that. But he slipped and said rape and then changed it and carried on. It was real quick. And I just thought, okay, it was a little slip. That,
you should have wrote down the time code. We could have looked it up, but maybe if you can listen to it again or whatever. Whatever. I mean, it's like at this point.
I thought that was a good press. He really didn't. He actually answered a lot of questions. That was a good press conference. He was good dude. But oh god. Yeah, I haven't got a lot more to cover other than you do a great job, and I think we should not speculate on people and people as such. Theories are great.
See, I want my channel to be just like, let's look at the facts, let's try to figure out like the where and the how, and if there is somebody, like it's something that you literally can look up and prove, then we can talk about people. Like literally, like, oh my God, look, it shows that their location was in the same town that they killed on this day. Then you can do stuff like that.
I agree. I
just sort of willy-nilly trying to make somebody guilty. That's crazy. Like, oh wow, look at this, and then you find a way to make your narrative work. It shouldn't work like that. It should be that facts lead you to speculate, and while you're speculating, if there's more facts to put in there, then you keep building on that, and then you come up with a really strong argument. Where if you just start with speculation and then try to make facts fit your story, you're lost. Okay, right off the bat. It's just, and a lot of people do that.
Agree.
So
I agree, because the chat can sometimes just get so full of
hey, well, I gotta say thanks
it was
to
the
somebody.
boyfriend. No, it was this. No, it was that. No, it was this, and it's just flying through, and I just get tired. So I just throw it up on the big screen and don't watch the chat sometimes.
Yeah, let me say. Hold on a second. I gotta say, Elizabeth Luker, thank you for the super chat. It said, "Gray, I'm somewhat new to your channel and I love it. I grew up listening to Art Bell and your live streams, calls, and bring back great memories. God bless you and your family." Oh, thank you so much. Wow, that's nice.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
we love you too.
I loved Art Bell.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Did they ever play Art Bell in your country?
Pardon me?
Art Bell. Like, did they ever play?
No, but you know, the name rings a bell for some reason. Ha 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 ha.
Oh,
Excuse the
jeez.
pun.
Oh, God.
I didn't mean to do that.
That was terrible. That was like...
I didn't mean
That
to
was
do
almost
it.
like hang up the phone type of... Yeah, that was awful.
You needed a toilet flush. That's
Yeah.
what I reckon.
Oh, yeah,
You know, yeah, that would be funny.
I should have got
I reckon.
let me see. Hold on, let me do... Not toilet flush. Let me see if I can find one really quick.
Okay, that would be cool.
A second.
And you could do it when you're going to the loo, maybe, and then when you're coming back or something. But
Okay, you
needs
can't
to
hear
just-
it because I didn't set your thing, but there was a good toilet flush I just did. So if you turn on your phone, you'll hear it. Oh yeah, that was a good one. You can't hear it on your phone for some
Oh
reason.
no, I didn't. But was it a toilet flush?
Yeah, it was a good one.
Oh, hilarious, cool. Yeah, I think when people need to go, you can just do that. Can you keep that and just do it?
I should probably,
Excellent.
yeah, I'm going to try to buy, there's some kind of thing out there that you can load it up with sound effects and then just click it and it plays through the system audio. So I need to just have it on the side where I can just go, I'm going to get one of those. Yeah, why not?
And the music you play behind is so somber but so perfect. Like yesterday for me, but that real quiet somber music you play, gosh, you
Yeah.
pick things that are perfect. Like
Well,
that was
thanks.
interesting, you putting that in the background.
Yeah, I just like to, I don't know, that it's weird when I play it and I'm talking, I kind of realize something doesn't work, you know. Like I'm not going to talk
Yeah.
about Mollie Tibbetts today and then play some rock, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't sound
No,
right.
that was perfect, and it was, it really was the mood. It was perfect, and you're great at that too. So, again,
thanks.
thank you for everything you've done. And
Wow.
oh,
You guys are so nice. Yeah, it was a sad day. It was like, oh, jeez. I wasn't really expecting that for some reason. I don't know.
I really was with you too. I mean, people were like, "Oh, how sad," but was expected, and it really wasn't for me. I really held hope. I
Yeah,
was getting a little on swaying towards. I don't. Oh God, I still held hope that maybe she's with other girls in a cellar being held. I just
Right.
did. I really did.
I think what it is
I
for
had-
me is I'm not really, I guess I can't say I didn't expect it. It's more like I had more hope than I should have had, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So the thing is I knew that the stats and logic are all about that she really is most likely not alive anymore. I knew that.
I totally agree with you.
But I had- but I had-
know, like rationally, my head said she's probably not, but my heart was really like saying, no. You know,
Yeah,
there's
it was
always hope.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
different.
Well, lovely to talk to you again, and thank
Yeah,
you
you
very
too.
much for everything, Gray. Love your channel, even though you keep us all awake and we're all sleep deprived, and it's
Yeah, me too.
You know,
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, thanks a lot for calling. I appreciate it.
you're welcome. Thank you very much.
All
Bye.
right. See you later, Mia. All right, bye. All right. Well, I think that's about it for me. For the night. Quitting Skype. Doesn't really feel like a Furious Freaks evening. This is what I feel like right now. Right. Okay. Pooped. Yeah, he put her in the trunk, yep. All right, everybody. Well, I appreciate everybody showing up tonight. Sorry for the trolls that had to call in. I'm not sure what they were all about. Almost like they were, some of them seemed to be proud or something that, you know, of what happened. It's like, wow, it's nuts. Let's see. Let me think. I'm going to thank Randy Keene, Audra Blankenship, Kelly Gray, Jim Neving. Go ahead, make my day. Brianne Tusha, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Iron Cowboy, Karen Bennett, and Elizabeth Luker. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. All right. Let me take one last look at the chat, see if anything's going on there. Not much, not much. Okay. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for showing up. I know it was a long evening, long day, and I'm not sure how much I'm going to do tomorrow. I kind of need a little, maybe a break. I might come on at some point. You know how it works. I say, oh, yeah, and then I show up, all right? So, everybody sleep well if you can, and until next time, be safe out there.